And someone or something would pay.
The next thing I know, I see her pulling pieces off my car.
She just broke up with you 4 weeks before, so she knew it was somebody else's car. Oh, I love this.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Stacy Speller is suing her ex-boyfriend's girlfriend, Kelly Tennant, for vandalizing her vehicle and an assault.
Order. All rise. It's case number 186, Your Honor, in the matter of Speller versus Tennant. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
I assume that this is the prize.
Or lack thereof.
I assume that this is the prize. I assume that this is what the two of you fought over. Now, you have children with him.
That's correct.
How many?
2.
And you lived together ever?
Yes.
From when to when?
From 2012 to just recently.
What's it just recently? Did you start to see, what's your last name?
Garcia.
When did you start to see Mr. Garcia?
The first week of May 2016.
And on May 27th of 2016, while you were seeing Mr. Garcia, and you weren't seeing Mr. Garcia, you and Mr. Garcia went over to his mother's house for a visit?
We were picking up some roller skates that he owned because we were going to go out skating that night.
And you drove your car?
Correct.
His mother has a house with a driveway?
There was, that's correct. There was a car parked in the driveway. Even if there wasn't a car.
I'm trying to put this picture in my mind. So you drove your car and parked it where?
On the street in front of his house, or his mother's house.
Did you go inside? Did Mr. Garcia go inside?
Yes, ma'am.
And at some point, Miss Tennant showed up.
Correct.
Where were you and Mr. Garcia when Miss Tennant showed up?
I was in the restroom. He was outside.
So you don't know where he was when she showed up?
No.
So the next thing you know, when you come out of the restroom, Mr. Garcia is outside, and so is Miss Tennant.
No. The next thing I know, when I come out of the restroom, he's coming into the house.
Okay. Do you have a conversation with him?
He tells me, my baby mama here, my baby mama here.
Is that the way he said it to you? So no?
No, ma'am.
Then I don't want to hear from you at all. You're back together again, right?
Yes.
Perfect. And?
So when he says that, my thought is...
Don't tell me, I don't care what you were thinking. He says,
my baby mama here, my baby mama here. Let me put you outside in the backyard and deal with her, and then when I'm done, we can go.
Okay. Did you go through the house to the backyard?
That's
Did you
correct.
know how to get to the backyard?
He semi-walked me there, but I knew how to get there because I had been there before.
So you walked to the backyard?
That's correct.
And what's the next thing that happened?
The next thing that happened, to my understanding, I hear them arguing. I hear her saying comments such as, why don't you want to be with me? Why are you breaking up our family? We have kids together. Who is she? Where is she? Type of those are the comments I'm hearing from her. From him, I'm hearing, just leave, just leave. You're not supposed to be here. It doesn't matter who she is. It doesn't matter. There's nobody here. It doesn't matter. Just leave, just leave. That's what I'm hearing from him. And from her, I'm just hearing
Okay, so
those
you're listening
conversations.
from the backyard as to what's going on.
That's correct.
You're listening. What's the next thing that happened?
The next thing that happened is, as I'm in the backyard, I went to the back door to see if I could get in the house because I wanted to leave. By this point in time, that's their drama. So I couldn't get back into the house through the back door, so I went around to the fence to try to get out of the gate so I could go to my car and leave. I couldn't get out the gate either because there was something keeping the latch closed. I see my car pretty much right in front of me. They're arguing back and forth, still saying the same types of conversations.
Gotcha.
And then the next thing I know, I see her pulling pieces off my car. I had weather strips on all 4 doors. I see her just pulling pieces off the car. When I see that, between the pulling and her movements, there's a huge dent in the side of my door. I saw all of this. I told Ryan, open this gate and let me out of here. She's not about to be damaging my property. He was like, you show right, open the gate. And I went towards my car. I wasn't thinking about her. I was ready to leave. She's coming towards me, shouting all kinds of things that don't even matter at this point. And then the next thing I know, she's swinging on me. I don't know how many times she hit me before I swung back.
Okay, let's stop there. I'd like to see what the car looked like.
Okay.
What the damage was to the car.
So these first two pictures are the original, what the car looked like when I bought it, and then the other pictures are the dent from different angles.
I want to see what the weather stripping was. Can I see
You
that?
can see that only on the first picture. I believe I have an arrow pointed to the weather stripping.
The plastic.
Harder plastic. So there had to have been some force used to pull them off.
Okay.
And the last two pictures, my belt shut in the door to demonstrate that it's not flush against the door.
Right estimate?
I do.
I'd like to see. Did your insurance cover part of this?
My insurance covered none of it. I did not file a claim with the insurance.
Okay. Now, Miss Tennant, did you drive there or walk there?
Drove there.
Was it prearranged that you go to his mother's house?
Earlier that day it was.
I don't believe you.
It was.
Okay, I don't believe you.
Okay.
Okay. And when you went by the house, you saw a car in the front.
Yes, I did.
Had you ever seen that car before?
No, ma'am.
Now, you went there to see his mother or to see him?
To see Ryan.
So that you want me to believe, this is what you want me to believe. You want me to believe that Mr. Prize Package made a date with you to see you at his mother's house, and he brought his girlfriend with him because he's either stupid. Is he stupid?
No, he's not stupid.
Is he vicious?
No, he's made a mistake.
Just a second. Now, that's not a mistake. That's either stupid or vicious. That's not a mistake. If you invite the mother of your children with you to that meeting and you hide her in the backyard, that's either very stupid or vicious. That's not a mistake. You know, a mistake is if you order your tuna fish sandwich on rye and you like it on whole wheat. That's a mistake. So we're going to start from the beginning. You went over there and you had an arrangement to meet him there or not?
Yes, I just spoke to him earlier that day saying that I would come over towards the end of the evening. And that's when I arrived. And when I say end of the evening, it was before, like, midnight. It was, like, way before even 8 o'clock.
Do you know, just from your body English, I know you're lying to me. It's so fascinating how after 40 years you could tell, just from body English, when somebody's lying.
I've got proof in my phone that shows that we had plans to see each other that evening.
Then he's either stupid or vicious.
Okay, then that's him, not me.
I just want you to know, then he's either stupid or vicious.
Okay.
So now you go over there because, according to you, you have plans to meet somebody who you're back with now and who was the father of your children. He happens to bring his girlfriend with to the meeting. And when you realize that he's there with somebody, because at some point you realized that he was there with somebody. Now, at what point did you realize that he was there with somebody?
When she came right.
And you knock at the door, ring the bell, what do you do?
No, he was outside, getting out of the car, going into the house.
He's getting out of the car. Had you forgotten cigarettes? Had you forgotten something in the car?
I was already sitting in the car, Your Honor.
You were what?
I was already sitting in the car.
Oh, she was just inside going to the bathroom. Is that right?
Yes.
When were you going to get your skates?
They were already in the car.
Okay, so now I got it. You were going roller skating. You had already picked up the roller skates and went back to the car with your girlfriend, and then she had to use the restroom, so you waited in the car.
Yes.
In the passenger seat?
In the driver's seat.
So you were driving her car?
Yes.
Okay, and she, of course, knows that it's not your car because she just broke up with you 4 weeks before, so she knew it was somebody else's car. Oh, I love this. Perfect. It's setting up setting up the whole picture. So you come by the house and you see boyfriend in somebody else's car in the driver's seat, so he's real comfortable. He's already picked up the roller skates to go roller skating with his girlfriend that night. Now you understand all that. So I would lean towards stupid rather than vicious if I were you. And you see him and he's getting out of the car and
so he proceeds to walk towards the house. And I said, hey, what are you doing? And he said, hey, my friend is letting me use this car while he's at work, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay,
I didn't believe that.
Just like you didn't believe that? You didn't believe that because... So you know when somebody is lying to you.
Absolutely.
Great. So let's go. So he went,
Okay. And so then I said, well, let me see who is in the house. And I went through the house. There's no one there. So I walked back into the front. We're standing parallel to her car, and we were talking about the situation, and he was like, no, I promise you, this person's car, he would not admit to that it was anybody else's car besides, I guess, a friend. So, yeah.
Great. You want to stop there?
No, I can continue.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so then at that point, we were arguing back and forth with each other, and then I looked over to the gate, and I saw Stacy, and so sure enough, at this point, it's getting really hot and heavy between me and him, and we're yelling, and she comes screaming out of the gate. She comes and doesn't even give me a second to talk, and she wants to fight, so we start fighting up against her car. Yes, I fought her based on self-defense, and she is all against me on the car, you know, and from the fighting, it must have ruined the car. And then after all of that happened, then the police came, and when the police came, they asked us to give them our statements, and at that point...
Tell me what the police said. That's hearsay.
Okay, well,
I'll look at a police
they let
report.
us both go. Nobody
Just a
got
second.
arrested.
I'll look at the police report, but don't tell me what the police said. Police report is a business record.
The police report says nothing about us fighting
Just a
against the
second.
car.
Can I
Okay,
just
that's me.
see the police report?
You sure can.
Don't editorialize the police report. Just let me see it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You wanted to be as truthful as possible with them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you wouldn't lie to the police.
No, ma'am. I never seen that, though.
That's what you... That's
when
not what
the-
I'm... Just a second. That's not what I asked you.
And later today,
What young people do.
I do too.
You've spent a lot of money on just the wheels.
Oh, no, not on wheels.
Oh, it gets worse, Your Honor.
No, not as you get older. As you
Okay.
get older, you get smart.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Stacy Speller says her ex-boyfriend's girlfriend, Kelly Tennant, vandalized her car and assaulted her during a confrontation.
Stand up. I have a few questions for you. You're Garcia, right? Ryan Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you're the prize. Okay. Now, you ultimately spoke to the police.
Yes.
And you spoke to the police just a couple of days after this event took place.
The day after.
Now, we know that, you know, between stupid and vicious, I'm leaning towards the former.
Mm-hmm.
But even stupid people don't lie to the police, especially if they're not being accused of anything, right? The police weren't accusing you of anything.
No.
Right? They
No,
didn't
ma'am.
come to arrest you on this outstanding marijuana problem that you had.
Yes.
They didn't come there for that. What they came there was for you to tell them your version of what happened, because they had a police report that they had to close out, right?
Yes.
And you wanted to be as truthful as possible with them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you wouldn't lie to the police.
No, ma'am.
Because lying to the police, you could go to jail. That's, you know, we all sadly know people who that's happened to. They think it's okay to tell a little white lie, and they go to the slammer for 18 months, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you would tell them the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, the day after this incident, when your mind was really fresh, you said that Miss Tennant kicked the front passenger door of the plaintiff's car and destroyed 3 of the weather strips from the Dodge windows. That's what you told the police.
I never seen that, though.
That's what you... That's
when
not
the-
what I'm...
well-
Just a second. That's not what I asked you. I said that's what you told the police.
Yes, ma'am.
Sit. So, Miss Tennant, so not only don't I believe you, which was good instinctively, but I wasn't sure until I read it, because he was going to get up there and tell me the story. Otherwise, why would you bring him? If he was going to tell me the truth if I questioned him, you're not stupid. If he was going to tell me the truth as to what he told the police the day after, why would you bring him to court? That would make you just as dumb. The next question,
Now-
she's suing you for 2 things. She's suing you for both the damage to her car, which is a little over $1,000, and she's suing you for assault. She's suing you for assault.
Okay,
She
so
says you
if
get...
she's
I'm
gonna-
speaking.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
So you were storing them, and...
I could no longer afford to pay the storage fees for all of the various parts, so I started liquidating various components of the inventory that I had left. And his wheels were sold.
So you sold them twice.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Stacy Speller says her ex-boyfriend's girlfriend, Kelly Tennant, vandalized her car and assaulted her during a confrontation.
Now, anybody who starts to ream out on a car, pulling a car apart and kicking it, there is no question in my mind that you went after her first. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount that you're requesting, $2,000. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
lying about everything. She's the reason she wants the restitution is so that
Out to get him out of jail because he cried like a little.
that she used to get her precious prize out.
Get me out of jail. I have no.
But it's okay. She's broke. She's got her $2,000.
Not because I'm broke, not because I want this or want that.
Now she can live her life the way that she chooses to. 33 years old, broke is
Because he lied. This happened because he's a liar.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter, Spencer versus Kornfeld. Step forward.
23-year-old Blake Spencer is suing William Kornfeld for the return of money he paid for rims he never received.
Mr. Spencer, what do you do for a living?
I'm an engineer.
What kind of car do you drive?
Kia Optima, 2012.
And the rims alone that you purchased from the defendant, you purchased them online from him?
Yes, I did. On a forum specifically for our car.
And you spent $1,000 for that?
Yes, I did.
And they were used rims?
Yes, they were from his car originally.
Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of business are you in?
Automotive retail, online.
What kind of business are you in now?
Construction.
Where were you keeping your stuff?
I had an office space.
Where?
Originally in Santa Ana.
And was that an office or was it a warehouse?
It was an office.
How big?
The office space was approximately 500 square feet with a storage facility that didn't belong to me that was approximately 2,000 square feet. I was granted some permissions, but it was a sandblasting facility, so it was quite dirty.
Now, why were you selling the rims from your personal car?
I had purchased a new car and was just taking that car apart and getting ready to turn it in from the lease.
So you had added those rims yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
That you purchased from somebody else?
Correct.
Who did you purchase them from?
Amazon.
So they were new?
Yes, ma'am.
And how much did you pay for them, new?
I don't remember. Somewhere between $300 and $350 a wheel, so approximately $1,400.
It's what young people do.
I do too.
You do too?
Yeah.
You've spent a lot of money on just the wheels?
Oh, no, not on wheels. I use
rims.
Amazon.
Oh, it gets worse, Your Honor.
No, not as you get older. As
Okay.
you get older, you get smarter.
I wouldn't do it again.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, so you bought the rims, but they had to be, I don't know, polished, or they had to be re-chromed or whatever, and you said that you would do that for him.
Correct.
So he left them with you, and he left them with you for a long time.
Yes, ma'am.
How long?
Over a year.
And where were they for the year?
Sitting in the corner of my front storage area right next to my packing and shipping table.
Was that in the office?
Yes.
In Santa Ana?
We endured two separate moves, one from our office in Santa Ana to our office in Laguna Hills. And then once our landlords stopped paying the rent on the facility I was in there, a lot of things were locked into that unit when we were locked out. And some stuff moved into private storage facility.
But not his rims.
No, his rims moved into a private storage facility.
Who owns that private storage facility?
At the time, it was Smart Stop Self-Storage.
Did you own it?
Well, I was renting the space from them for a
Okay,
monthly
so then
cost.
it moved into the storage space.
Correct.
And then what happened?
I had to pay to store them.
And?
So once the business closed, I could no longer afford to pay the storage fees for all of the various parts, so I started liquidating various components of the inventory that I had left. And his wheels were sold.
So you sold them twice?
Correct.
Great. How much did you pay for the wheels?
$1,000.
Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
You may step out.
She is now at a dead stop talking to an old high school chum.
Stuck in a parking lot behind a rude driver.
Why were you doing that?
I didn't talk more than 5 minutes.
5 minutes is too long. That's being disrespectful.
Then they took their rage onto the road.
Not once, twice, but 3 times, she maneuvers in front of me and cuts me off.
And what do you do, Mr. Fisher?
I jump out of the car.
Now we have a problem.
Judge Judy.
Of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
20-year-old Fallon Alondis and her sister, Sophia Alondis, are suing Chad Fisher for car repair costs resulting from a road rage incident.
Order. All rise. Yeah, it's case number 115 on the calendar, the matter of Alanis versus Fisher.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Who was driving? Raise your hand. Were you in the car?
No, ma'am.
You can sit down. But you own the car.
Yes, ma'am.
But you were the driver.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Fisher, I'm going to start with you. I have to create a visual picture of this so that everybody out there, including myself, understands so they can relate to what happened.
Okay.
You're driving through a parking lot?
Yes.
It's not a big parking lot.
No, very small, and there was construction being done.
And you were leaving the parking lot?
Yes.
You had parked there?
No, I actually had gone to the park, and then I had gone through the parking lot because there was construction on the street.
So you were not going through the parking lot to use it for any legitimate reason. You were doing it to circumvent traffic.
Correct.
Now, Miss Alanis was in her car.
Correct.
And she stopped to talk to someone. Who were you talking to?
A friend.
Was your friend in a car or on
No,
foot?
he was on foot.
Had you planned to meet him, or was this a chance meeting?
It was a chance meeting.
And where do you know him from?
High school.
Okay, so this is what happened, Mr. Fisher. You're trying to circumvent traffic, and Miss Alanis is stopping in the middle of the parking lot that you are going through in order to avoid the traffic, and she is now at a dead stop talking to an old high school chum.
Correct.
Have I created the word picture for you? You're paying attention.
Paying attention.
Good. And she either doesn't look in her mirror or looks in her mirror and sees you and says, I'm not finished yet. So she doesn't quickly end the conversation.
Well, it wasn't the fact that she was ending her conversation or beginning the conversation. She was just in the middle of traffic, you know, in the way of everybody that was trying to do their business.
Well, right now, you were the only one, your car was the only one trying to get through.
No, not at all.
There were other cars.
Absolutely.
Well, then she was talking for a while.
Yes.
Why were you doing that?
I didn't talk more than 5 minutes.
5 minutes is too long. That's being disrespectful.
Yeah.
So that even if it was just Mr. Fisher, it would have been disrespectful.
Yes.
Because there's one lane that people can use a minute, much less 5 minutes. Who are you?
I'm the dad. Father.
Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. So she was being disrespectful. I would actually take away her car privileges for a while.
I agree.
Now, what kind of car were you driving?
It's a small two-door Ford Explorer.
And what kind of car were you driving?
A Kia Forte.
A smaller car.
Yes.
So you're in an SUV, and she's in a Kia.
Yeah.
And you honk your horn, and she blows you off.
Yeah.
What did she yell out the window?
Honestly, I don't know. I
don't
was too much of in a hurry.
Yeah, you know.
Didn't have
when
enough time to bother with it.
When I'm finished, I'll move. Whatever.
Yeah.
Something that wasn't, oh, I'm sorry, and I'll move right along.
Yeah.
Right? Something a brat would do. Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm with you 100%, Mr. Fisher.
Thank you. Thank
So far, I'm with your aggravation 100%. I don't know what I would have done under the circumstances, but ultimately, she moved in order to let you out or just to get out?
No, that wasn't it at all. I had just gone around her and was going about my business.
Just a second. Did you say anything to her as you passed?
I did, but
You did.
I don't remember.
Did you gesture in any way to her when you passed?
I probably did. I've
probably
been known
did.
to do something like that.
You probably did.
Yeah.
So you next.
Next thing I know, I see this car hauling rear all the way up about 1.5 miles to me to the light where I was turned left. And not once, twice, but 3 times, she maneuvers in front of me and cuts me off. So at this point, I'm as livid. I have my dog in the back. You're using your car as a weapon, and you're endangering my dog.
So what you're saying is she came out of the parking lot and she was following you, but while she was following you, she'd pull up in front of you and do what?
She would get in front of me, and then I would get around, and then she would maneuver again and get in front of me.
You, and you would get...
I would move around.
Okay, so that you were playing a stupid game with her.
Yes, go-karts.
You were playing a stupid game with her.
Yes, exactly.
And then what happened?
Then at that point, I'm tired of this action. She's threatening me. She's threatening my dog. So I get out of the car.
That's ridiculous.
Now, right now, you're both acting like idiots.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Just a second. Right now, how old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
I have a 20-year-old idiot, and how old are you?
43.
And you're a 43-year-old idiot.
Yes.
How is he related to you?
He's my husband.
So he's your 43-year-old idiot.
Oh.
So now you got tired playing chickie with a 20-year-old.
Yes.
And what do you do, Mr. Fisher?
I jump out of the car.
Now we have a in front of her.
Yes. Blocked her from
Blocked
moving.
her.
Yes,
so she
absolutely.
couldn't move. And you got out of your car. And what did you do?
I reached into the car and tried to grab her keys to shut her car off.
So what you did was, in effect, a kidnapping because you restrained her lawful movement when you blocked her.
I would prefer a citizen's arrest.
No. I know what you would prefer. You would prefer that I were Peter Pan.
Oh, man.
First, you kidnapped her.
Okay.
By blocking her and not letting her move. Then you committed an act of forcible theft by trying to take the keys to her car. That's a robbery. And then what did you do, Mr. Fisher?
Well, I couldn't get the keys, so I just started yelling and screaming at her and pounding on her window.
And then when you were pounding on the window, what happened to the window?
Well, I don't exactly know. I never
What
saw
happened to the window?
He broke my window.
Which window?
With my bare
right.
hands, though? I mean...
Which window?
My right passenger side window.
Is that the side where he was reaching in to try to get the keys?
Yes.
So he didn't come to the driver's side, he went to the passenger side that was open.
Yes.
And he broke that window.
He shattered it like a dent into the window. It didn't break fully, but it will.
Okay. So we have kidnapping, we have forcible robbery, and we have vandalism. Then I assume she was window where you were reaching in.
I'm sure that's what happened. I had so much adrenaline. I mean, it happened so fast. I was,
That's what happens with stupid men and their testosterone. See, women are smarter, even younger women. She wouldn't get out of the car. I would never get out of the car. I'd roll up the windows. I do a lot of that. I would never get out. Only stupid men get out of the car.
Well, then would you chase the person?
Stupid. No.
Would you chase the person 2 miles to their house? That same person that damaged their...
playing chickie with her. You, with her, were doing this thing. And then you got fed up. So I know what you were doing. So then you acknowledge that you broke the radio when you were reaching in for the keys. I read your answer.
Okay.
You acknowledge that you broke the radio, correct?
Correct.
So broke the radio, broke the window, got back into your car, and then she started to chase you.
Yes. Crazy.
What?
Crazy. She's chasing me.
Just a second. Mr. Fisher, there is something wrong with you. You've been married to him a long time?
9 years.
9 years. I'm sure he's otherwise a nice guy.
He really is.
He was just having a bad day.
It was early. He was just taking the dog for a walk. That's all he went to do.
Well, he wasn't taking
park.
the dog uncross your arms. He wasn't taking the dog for a walk in the car.
No, we drive to the park. It's bigger. It's a better place to walk the dog.
Well, then he...
No, not at that moment.
What day of the week was this, by the way, Mr. Fisher?
Maybe a Wednesday or Thursday.
What time of the day?
I would say maybe noon to about 2 o'clock, something like that.
Okay. So then she followed you home, and what happened?
I threw my dog in the house because she's still circling my neighborhood.
Second. So you threw your dog in the house, and now you're safe in the house.
Oh, now my dog's safe in the house.
No, you could have been safe in the house. When you threw your dog in the house, you could have gone into the house.
You're right, I could have. But she's circling my neighborhood.
Just a second. So now you're in the house, and I assume that you have a telephone.
Yes.
And a telephone has a mechanism where you can call 911 and say, there's a crazy person here who just blocked me from moving quickly through a parking lot. Then we engaged in a sort of game of chickie on the road, and then I kidnapped her. I broke her radio. I tried to rob her keys. I vandalized her car. And she's circling my house. You could have told all of that to the police.
Or that there was a person endangering the public and I tried to stop them and make a citizen's arrest.
No, you were doing the same thing
instead of the whole
listen
kidnapping
to me.
thing.
You were doing the same thing she was.
I was doing a...
Stupid. And
service.
you're 43.
Yes.
And she's 20.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So you put the dog in the house and you did what any other 43-year-old moron would do. And you chased her to her house.
Correct.
Okay, now, you have the police report?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to take a look at it. Now we've created the word picture. I hope everybody understands it. Listen, Miss Alanis, you understand that your initial rudeness precipitated a series of events that wouldn't have happened if you were a polite driver.
Yes.
I'm not excusing him. Neither is his wife. As a matter of fact, his wife is a lovely lady who would probably like to kill him.
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
When did you sell it to them?
The 16th.
Why?
Because she was my best friend and I...
Don't give me the whole story.
Okay.
Tell me something that I understand, that's logical. Why would you buy a car on April 8th and sell it a week later to your best friend?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Fallon Alonis says fellow motorist Chad Fisher damaged her sister's car when he attacked her on the road. Chad is countersuing for harassment.
Now, were you arrested, Mr. Fisher?
Negative, because the father came back to
Not a because.
All right.
Not a because. I would have arrested you. Okay, now I'd like to see the damage to the window, and I'd like to see the damage to the radio, and the estimates to have both fixed.
Here you go. The radio isn't broken. It's the door that when he slammed open his door, he dented my door.
Yeah, because I thought there was a dent and a glass that was broken. I've never seen any of the stuff that's been broken either. I've never had an opportunity to look at it, see if I could get my own estimates.
Well, she has 3 estimates. They vary. But one of the things, in addition to the estimates, she is suing you for punitive damages based upon harassment.
I harassed them.
No, you kidnapped her. You attempted to rob her forcibly. While in the process of doing that, you broke her property, which is vandalism. You committed, actually, 3 crimes.
I was putting a stop to her using her car as a weapon.
Okay, great. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,500. We're done here.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I mean, it's horrible. You got my dog in the car and she's doing all this. I mean, what's her to stop her from doing somebody else?
He clearly was out of his mind. I was scared for my life.
For some kid or somebody that she's just bullying around. I'm not going to let her bully me around. It ain't going to happen.
Yeah, she's right. I should have probably pulled to the side or said, I'm sorry.
I think she's just crazy. I was putting a stop to rob her. She's dangerous, so.
But at the end of the day, no matter what I did, I don't think anything in the right mind was right for him to come and swing at my car.
I'm going to be who I am. That's it. That's all I am.
There's just a lot of crazy people, and I hope, I mean, he said he's not going to change his ways, but I hope he does, because I was scared for my life.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of King versus Romero Funes. Step forward.
20-year-old Danielle King is suing her former friend, Flor Funes, and Flor's ex-boyfriend, Nelson Romero, for unpaid car payments, slander, and harassment.
Miss King, they were friends of yours, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you buy a new car?
Yes, I did actually buy a car.
When?
I bought the car on April 8th, 2016.
And you had an old car?
Yes, I do. I still currently have it.
When you purchased a new car in 2016 in April, what kind of a car did you purchase?
A 2005 white Honda Civic.
What kind of car did you sell them?
The 2005 white Honda Civic. The car that I currently have is my 2003 Toyota Echo.
And you purchased the car that you sold them on April 8th?
Yes, ma'am.
Of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
When did you sell it to them?
On the 16th.
On April 16th?
Yes.
Why?
Because she was my best friend, and I...
Don't give me the whole story.
Okay.
Tell me something that I understand. That's a week later to your best friend.
I didn't really like the car. I'm used to driving my stick shift. The automatic wasn't really going for me.
Well, didn't you do a test drive with it?
Yes, I did. First I liked it, but realized I'm more better with my stick shift. I really like that car.
Who did you buy it from?
I bought it from the man of Morris.
Did you see an ad for it?
Yes, actually on OfferUp. However, the ad is now gone.
And you still have the title to that car?
All the paperwork that was in the car had actually been thrown away by the
that's a big problem. That's a big problem for you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You claim you sold it to them. They say, yeah, we were friends. I borrowed the car. I was using it. The car certainly wasn't in her name.
I do, however, have a witness.
I don't care. You control the fate of that car.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Danielle King says former friend Flor Funes and Flor's ex-boyfriend Nelson Romero owe for car payments.
How much did you pay Mr. Morris for the car?
I paid him the amount of $2,500.
And when did you buy the other car?
The 2003? I actually won that car a few years ago. I won it 2 years ago at a Quality Nissan.
Allegedly to the defendants.
We agreed for $3,000.
So you bought it for $2,500, you had it for 4 days, and you sold it for $500 more.
Yes, ma'am.
To your friends?
Yes, Your Honor.
Interesting. Now, when you paid for the car, did you pay for it, the $2,500 in check or cash?
I paid it in cash, and I have the bill of sale.
I'd like to see a bill of sale. Is it notarized?
It was not notarized.
I'm not interested in it.
Fine.
You bought it in 2008. Did you ever register it in your own name?
No, Your Honor.
No. So the car is not registered in your name, and it's still registered in the name of Morris.
Yes, Your Honor.
Great. I love it so far. Then you sold a car that you either owned or didn't own to the defendants, and one of them got pulled over when they were driving the car for what?
For a broken taillight.
So there was a broken taillight on the car.
Actually, Your Honor, I have a case number. She actually got pulled over for a DUI. I don't have the police report.
Was it a DUI or a broken... Well, if it was a broken tail that turned into a DUI, is that what happened?
Yes.
All right. And the car was impounded.
Yes, Your Honor.
And nobody could get it out.
No, Your Honor.
You can't get it out, not because you didn't have any money, because you're not the registered owner. And she's not the registered owner. You have to be the registered owner to get the...
It's some of the people at the police
Don't tell me
department.
what anybody who you spoke to said. It doesn't make any difference. You have to go with the bill of sale and the title, register the car, and then you have the ability to go in and get it out of impound. Did you ever do that?
I did,
You did not.
attempt, but I did not.
You did not.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Yeah. Either one of you give her any money for the car?
No.
No money. Did you give her any money?
No.
No.
I never signed no contract and stayed in California.
Just a second. You were just using the car.
I borrowed the car.
You borrowed the car. You have a bill of sale with them?
No, I do not.
Miss King, I can't help you. You have two people, neither of whom own a car, neither of whom can get the car out of impound unless you take affirmative action. Your affirmative action is you have to go take your alleged bill of sale, which you were smart enough to get from the person allegedly that you bought the car from. So you were smart enough to do that. You claim you sold it to them. They say, yeah, we were friends. I borrowed the car. I was using it. This car certainly wasn't in her name.
I do, however, have a witness.
I don't care. You control the fate of that car. As soon as you found out that she was pulled over, which she notified you because I read the papers, you go to DMV, you put the car in your name so that you can get it out, and then if it was a sale, it's a sale. Meanwhile, only Mr. Morris can get the car out because he's the registered owner. You have the title to the car?
Everything was in the car that got through out. Your Honor, I, however, do have text messages of her harassing me. This is not just a just...
We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I sold her a car, and she ended up getting a DUI in the car.
I didn't give her any money. She's just saying that because she slept with him.
When she came back from the drunk tank, she saw me with her cousin, and she says, "Why are you there with my man?"
And she's trying to, cover it up.
Her first cousin is her boyfriend.
Yeah, that's my cousin right here.
She's been harassing me ever since, threatening my family, threatening me, calling my work.
I don't know. She was my best friend, and then I don't know what happened.
I've been harassed so much, and it took a huge toll, not necessarily just on me, but on my boyfriend and on my family.
Well, with friends like that, what do you need enemies for, right?
So she was your girlfriend?
No, she was my friend.
Since it's usually not true.
An old hookup comes back to haunt him.
Once she gets out the car, she starts storming towards me, like a loose rhino. She's like, "You keyed my car. I know you did it."
And a new romance already doomed?
You're screwing up a lot of families. You understand what's down the road for you?
Judge Judy.
Stick to one woman.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Delvin McDonald and fiancée Brianne Copici are suing Vanessa Ray for bail money due to a false arrest, missed work, harassment, and emotional distress.
Order. All rise. Now, it's case number 209 on the calendar in the matter of Copici McDonald versus Ray.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
What's your last name, sir?
McDonald.
Mr. McDonald, your co-plaintiff is your fiancée? Is
Yes,
that right?
Your
You
Honor.
live together.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the defendant used to be your girlfriend, and you lived together.
No, Your Honor. She was my roommate.
Well, she maybe thinks she was more than your roommate. That's what I get from her answer. Were you just roommates, or did you date?
We shared a bedroom together, yes.
Okay. When you say raising your children together, do you have biological children together? Shh. Do you have biological children together with Mr. McDonald?
No, I have 2 children of my own, and Mr. McDonald has his son.
Did your son live in the house with Miss Ray?
Yes, Your Honor.
And along with her 2 children.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did there ever come a time when you and Miss Ray lived together in the same bedroom?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, perfect. Did you contribute to the rent?
Yes, Your Honor.
How much?
The 1-bedroom apartment that we lived in, I contributed.
Just a second. So you lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with the
Yes, when I
3
first moved
children?
in, yes.
And where did your son sleep?
He slept in a bed along with her children as well.
So you mean 5 of you slept in the same bed?
No, it was 2 beds in 1 room.
I'm just getting some background before I get to the case because, Mr. McDonald, I like to know the people that I'm dealing with.
Okay.
So you have a son.
Yes, I do.
How old?
He's 10 years old.
How long did you know Miss Ray before you moved in with her?
A little over a year.
So she was your girlfriend?
No, she was my friend.
You don't move into a 1-bedroom apartment with 3 children with 1 bedroom that you share with a friend. If it doesn't make sense, it's usually not true. Now, Miss Kopici?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have children?
Yes, ma'am.
How many?
I have 2.
Any more on the way?
I have 1 on the way.
Mr. McDonald.
I met him over 2 years ago. It'll be June.
And when did he move in with you?
We were talking for a year as friends. We did
he
hang out.
has a lot of friends.
Well, now we're here with baby, so we're different, fiance, whatever.
That just makes you a pregnant friend.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
That doesn't make you a wife friend. That makes you a pregnant friend. Okay, let's go. Just give me the date that you moved in together.
For me, September of 2014.
And when did he move out of your house?
He moved out of my house on September 19th of 2014.
So he moved from your house directly into her house.
Yes.
Now, Miss Ray, because when it comes down to it, this is a case where the 2 girlfriends got into a kerfuffle at the school of your children, your son and your 2 children, and you were arrested, and then they dismissed the case, but she had to bail you out, and so that's what you're suing for, and you're suing for an assault and for missing work and whatever. But so I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
This incident took place on what date?
May 24th.
Now, at that time, he had been gone for 2 years.
Correct.
Now, in the 2 years that he's been gone and clearly developed more than a friendship with Miss Kopici, what contact have you had with him?
We spoke daily.
On the
morning,
good
morning.
Night. I'd love to see a couple of them.
I deleted Mr. McDonald out of my phone completely when I got my restraining order.
Well, you got your restraining order in what month and year?
I got my restraining order from Mr. McDonald in June.
Of what year?
Of this year.
Between 2014, September, and May of 2016, did you have any contact with Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Now, you said to me you had daily contact.
Yes.
I said, I want to see it. You said, because it was by text, you said, I deleted it. Doesn't make sense to me. If you are going to sue him for everything that you're suing him for, why would you, within the last 8 weeks, delete all the text messages from him?
Your Honor, I've been to court with Ms. Kopici and Mr. McDonald on 4 separate occasions. So this is not the first time.
That's just great. That's even more reason not to delete any evidence. So let's just say it's true, which I don't believe, by the way. Neither does this lady, who was your mother, right? I know it's your mother. It's one face. He would write you every morning, good morning, and did you ever respond to him?
I stopped responding to Mr. McDonald after May 24th.
So the answer is for 2 years. You did writing a novel here, a work of fiction. What did you respond to him?
Good morning back. We would have small text messages about anything. About anything, about the day, about our children, about what was going on, about his relationship with Miss Kopici, about their arguments, things like that. He would always come ask me what I thought, blah, blah, blah. We would have conversations about my life, my family, things like that. I never believed that Mr. McDonald stalked me or harassed me up until that point. We started to argue in the month of May, and it led to all this happening.
Just a second. What were you arguing about in the month of May?
Because I told Mr. McDonald that I was done with his bullying. He would text me and he would ask me...
You know, even your mother is rolling her eyes. I have to tell you, I'm just letting you know. Now, I want to know on May 24th, was there an open school day at school?
Yes.
That's the same school where your son go to school there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do your children go to school there? No. What kind of open school period was it on May 24th?
It was open house. You go to the school and then the kids show you what they've done throughout the year, projects, works of art and things of that nature.
Had you in any way, Mr. McDonald, communicated?
I haven't spoken. I actually didn't speak with her since May 12th, actually.
What did you speak to her about on May 12th?
She called me. She asked me for some advice. I told her, I gave you advice. It was about a car or something that supposedly she had wanted to purchase.
At that point, had you told her that your fiancée was pregnant?
My fiancée wasn't pregnant at the time.
Okay. Between 2014 and 2016, did you maintain contact with Miss Ray?
Yeah, we were friends.
Do you know what it was that changed that?
I guess her pursuit, because she constantly, regardless, because I never gave her the title, quote unquote, what she always asked for, because we were just friends, and she saw me move on with my life. She tried to, she got involved in my life. A lot of relationships that I had, like I said, we were roommates. I dated people while I lived there because she was my roommate.
Well, you also lived with her in the same bedroom.
Only because it was a one bedroom. But I didn't always stay there, though. I didn't always sleep in that bed, though. I used to sleep in the living room a lot, on the floor, actually.
Are you suggesting to me, Mr. McDonald, that you never had an intimate relationship with her?
The first night in my cousin's truck, yes, I did, Your Honor.
In what year?
Wow.
That was 2013, 12, something like that.
Now, are you suggesting to me in the time that you lived with her, you did not have an intimate relationship with her?
When I wasn't dating anybody.
So you had an on and off intimate relationship with her?
Off and on, yes.
For you. Mm-hmm. Do you understand?
Definitely.
Do you understand what's down the road for you?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You seem to be prepared to tell me that you are a scoundrel, that you're God's gift so you can live with one, you can go out and date somebody else. When I'm not dating somebody else, I can come back and sleep in her bedroom. And I'm telling you, it's not fine.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Delvon McDonald and fiancée Brianne Copici claim Delvon's former roommate, Vanessa Ray, had him falsely arrested. Vanessa has a countersuit for an assault.
Now, you have an ordinary guy who is being pursued by at least two women at the same time. Because if he's moved on in his life from you, and you can't let it go, and just say, listen, I can find another winner like this anywhere. Right? But you continue to have daily discussions with him and call him up about advice about buying a car and give him advice about his girlfriend, and you get advice from him. Go to a therapist. But I want to know what happened, and I actually think now that the only person I'm going to get an accurate answer from is you, that you are a scoundrel, that you're God's gift so you can live with one, you can go out and date somebody else. When I'm not dating somebody else, I can come back and sleep in her bedroom. Now I can go live with her and make a baby with her, but I can continue to have friendship with Miss Ray because it suits me. You seem to think that all of that is fine. And I'm telling you, it's not fine. It's too complicated. You don't look like you can handle it. I don't know about physically, that's not my business. Emotionally, psychologically, you can't handle it. You're screwing up a lot of families by thinking I can have a little one here, and I can have a piece here, and I can have a piece of the pie here, and I can go here, whatever. And you're living in some other world altogether. So now I know where I'm going to get my legitimate information, because now you know how I legitimately view you.
Yes.
Because I think you're going to tell me honestly what happened.
Yes.
And I'm not going to get that from them. First of all, did you, Mr. McDonald, ever key Miss Ray's car?
No, I did not, Your Honor.
I absolutely believe that. Did you ever flatten her tires?
No, Your Honor.
No. I'm not so sure about Miss Copici. I'm not even going to ask her. But there did come a time when you had your car keyed and your tires slashed, right? And did you name the person who did it?
Yes.
And do you have a copy of that police report?
Not that one, no.
That one is the only one I'm interested in.
Okay. My apartment complex does have security cameras, and they
did you
saw
bring
a
me
gentleman...
Did you bring me that tape?
No.
Were you ever arrested for that crime?
No, I was not.
All right. So now on May 24th, you go to the school.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what happened when you went to the school to see your son's artwork?
Well, me and my family, me, my fiance, and my stepdaughter and my son, we went to the school to see my son's exhibits. And they had an intermission, so on the intermission, I went outside because I smoke cigarettes, so I went outside to have a cigarette.
It's not a good idea for you to smoke cigarettes, or you have a 10-year-old son that you have custody of, and you're going to have another baby. It's not a good idea for you to smoke anymore.
I'll quit today then.
Perfect. Let's move on.
All right. So I was outside smoking a cigarette, and when I noticed Miss Soto Ray, I don't know how you guys have it. She comes around, and I see her, and I just glance over.
In a car or in person?
In a car. And as soon as I see her, she makes this face, and she flips me off. So once she gets out the car, she starts, like, storming towards me, you know, like a loose rhino. And I'm like, I look over, so I'm like, what's going on? Like, and I call my girlfriend. I'm like, hey, get the kids. Let's get out of here, because I think she's about to start something, you know? So she comes, she approaches me, and I know you did it, blah, blah, blah. You messed my car up. And I was shocked. I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, I know you did it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Why would I key your car? You have nothing I want. I left you alone. Like, I have a beautiful fiance of regular size. Like, I'm cool.
Well, you didn't say all that to her.
Yeah, I did, though.
See, Your
Did
Honor?
you? Shh.
I did.
You did. Okay.
He's disrespectful. He's very disrespectful.
Listen to me. He doesn't have to be respectful or disrespectful of you. He's got another girl. You got to leave him alone.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If somebody came to court and said, I want her to have an order of protection, I would say, no, I want to do a trial. I have nothing else to do today, and I'm going to do a trial on your ridiculous case, even though you're willing to consent to your adversary having an order of protection.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Delvon McDonald and fiancée Brianne Copici say Delvon's former roommate, Vanessa Ray, owes for a false arrest.
Go ahead. So what happened next?
And then she goes to hit me, right? So I'm like, what are you doing? And then my girlfriend at the time or whatever, she shows up with the kids, and they're on the curb right here. She's like, we're not going to do this here. Yeah, and she was wearing a hat that said Bonnie on it, and I was wearing a hat that said Clyde, which she actually used to own. She actually used to own a hat. Oh, sorry. So she used to have a Bonnie hat, and it upset her.
That you bought me.
Okay.
And that I bought you the Clyde.
So she snatches it off my head, right? And, like, you know, her hands are, like, bigger than mine. So when she grabs my hat, she pulls my head down, and then she pulls the hat off. I'm like, dude, what are you doing? So she goes like this. She turns to the side to, like, you know, keep me from going to reach for it. And she gets a hold of the hat, and then she finally gets a hold of the hat, and she pushes my girlfriend in the chest. And then she was like, you blah, 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 that's why boyfriend or something like that. And then her mom came.
Whose mom?
Vanessa's mom.
Your last name is?
Soto.
Ms. Soto, you there looking at your grandchildren's artwork?
Yes, like I do every year, yes.
That's what you were there for?
Yes.
Were you in the school or outside of the school?
Actually, I was approaching the school, so I was still outside of the school. I hadn't gotten in yet when I saw my daughter talking to Mr. McDonald. And I hurried to park because I knew what had happened a couple of days before, that he had keyed her car.
He didn't key her car. There was no proof that he keyed her car.
Yes, but there's no evidence that he did not do it either.
There's no evidence that her didn't do it.
Yeah.
And your daughter is a little bit... There may be a lot of people. What I don't understand is why she had anything to do with this man who's off involved with somebody else. You end it and you move on.
Correct.
Especially when you have somebody who treats these relationships very casually. Sadly, women don't treat those relationships very casually. Now, you have a claim for assault. Did you go to a hospital?
No, ma'am.
Yeah, good. And you got in between this fight.
Your Honor, I didn't technically get involved. I was saying that we weren't doing this. She didn't like it, and so she put her hands on me.
Yeah, she put her hands on you. I know, which she's not allowed to do.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, you went to court with regard to protective orders.
Yes, ma'am.
Was there a trial?
Yes.
Were you granted a protective order against her?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
For how long?
For 1 year.
Did you testify at that trial?
Yes.
And the judge, after the trial, granted the plaintiff a protective order against you so that you have to stay away from her.
Yes, I told the judge to give it to her.
No, that's not true. If you told
Yes,
the judge,
I did.
Hey, listen to me carefully. If somebody came to court and said, I want her to have an order of protection, I would say, no, I want to do a trial. I have nothing else to do today. I got 900 people outside who want my time, and I'm going to do a trial on your ridiculous case, even though you're willing to consent. They no longer have those kinds of crazy judges on the bench. Okay, so after the trial, she was granted a protective order against you. Now, did you go to trial with regard to your application for an order of protection against Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
And what happened with that case?
I won a restraining order against Mr. McDonald due to harassment for 18 months.
Don't. You testified.
Yes.
And he testified.
Right.
And the judge granted you a protective order.
Correct.
For 18 months.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct.
So now we know we have to stay away from each other. Anything happened since that time?
A little bit.
What?
She drives past the house, she makes faces and stuff like that.
It should be on record. If that happens again, I would suggest that you videotape it and bring it to the police and have her arrested for violating the order of protection.
Yes, Your Honor, and I also was granted a restraining order as well against Mr. McDonald. After he assaulted my daughter, he verbally assaulted me and threatened my family.
Did she go to the hospital?
No.
She approached him.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of an assault? Go to judgejudy.com.
Now, she approached him furious because she believed that after 2 years of really nice back and forth, she believed he keyed her car. For whatever reason, I don't care. And she confronted him. Instead of leaving it up to the authorities to deal with, she got out of her car, and instead of going into the school like she was supposed to, like you were doing,
correct,
she confronted him.
Right, and we never denied that from the beginning. That's
very
always been
good.
the truth.
Very good. So your case is dismissed.
I stand by the truth.
Just a second. The truth is, you shouldn't have gotten involved.
Myself?
Yes.
When I saw him attacking my daughter as a mother, what am I to do? A man should never touch a woman.
No, in my way of thinking, one human being should not attack another human being.
She did not attack. She took his hat off, Your Honor.
Sit down. We're done. You and I are done.
Thank you.
Sit down. Your counterclaim is dismissed. So's your claim. We're done. Stick to one woman.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're done.
Thank you. That's all that matters. Goodbye.
Now let's talk about the burnt couch that I saw. Do you know how that happened?
No idea.
A cohabiting couple gets fired up.
She has people over all the time. It could have been a number of her friends. She's also a fire dancer.
No one fire dances indoors. That's absurd.
And a relationship goes down in flames.
You're drunk all the time anyway.
You're twice as drunk and half as attractive.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Lauren Glenn is suing her ex-girlfriend, Brittany Kittredge, for rent and a burned couch.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 137 on the calendar in the matter of Glenn versus Kittredge.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Glenn, you and Miss Kittredge lived together as a couple for how long?
Yes, Your Honor, we did for about 12 months.
You don't have to lean over.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you move into an apartment together, or did she move into your apartment?
She moved into my apartment.
Okay. How long had you been living there?
I had been living there for about 2 years prior.
Were you living there alone or with somebody else?
I was living there alone. I actually had a roommate for probably about 5 months, but...
But you were living alone?
Yeah.
She moved in on what date?
February of 2015.
Is that right?
Yes.
And is that when you became a couple? When you
No,
moved
we
in?
were a couple previous before that. Sorry.
Miss Kittredge, when you moved in, what were the financial arrangements?
We were just going to split the rent, which was $1,100. So we were going to pay $550 each.
When did you move out?
I moved out...
Really false, Your Honor.
No, listen to me. First of all, don't bend over again. Second of all, unless I'm speaking to you, don't speak.
All right, I'm very sorry.
Great. Okay, so this is what the case is about. It is Miss Glenn's claim that you owe her some rent. You had a fight. You moved out. You owe her some rent. And in addition to owing her some rent, that you burnt her sofa. She acknowledges that after you burnt her sofa, she changed the locks in the apartment and threw your stuff out.
Yeah.
And your counterclaim is for the stuff that was ruined as a result of her throwing it out.
Correct.
So that's what I have. Okay. Did you pay her May's rent?
No, I didn't pay her May's rent.
Okay. And you lived there until the 12th?
The 12th, yeah.
Tell me the circumstances surrounding you leaving.
I left because we had broken up in the beginning of May, but we had agreed that I would be able to live there until the end of May until I found a place. And then I moved out early because she was just partying, having people over all the time, and started
So it was uncomfortable.
dating someone. Yeah, in front of me. It was
Okay,
very
so it was
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you left in mid-May on the 12th, did you take your property with you? Anything?
I took a bag, like a duffel bag of stuff.
When did you come back for your property?
I came back about a week later.
Did you have any contact with her during that week?
No.
When you came back for your property?
And the locks were changed?
She tells in her complaint that you had broken into the house at some point and burnt a couch when you went into the house. Did you do that?
No. I absolutely have no idea where she got that. You're also, like, she has people over all the time. So it could have been a number of her friends. She's also a fire dancer.
You did not. You came back a week later and your stuff was outside and the locks were changed.
Yeah.
Is that what you're telling me?
Absolutely.
Okay. Now I want you to tell me, Miss Glenn, Miss Kitteridge left in mid-May.
She did. She left like after May 9th. I actually went out of town.
Just a second.
Okay.
How did you know, if you were out of town, that she left in mid-May?
She had a party with like a bunch of members of her like softball team, and like some of them.
Don't look at her. Look at me. Don't look at her.
Some of them told me about it, and actually, I have some evidence here.
Just talk to me. Talk to me. When I want
I'm sorry,
evidence,
Your Honor.
when
I have some evidence here.
Just a second. Is what you're telling me that you heard from other people that she had a party?
Yes, but I texted her and she didn't deny it.
Okay. So she had a party.
She did.
At the house where she was living.
She was living, but not paying rent. Yes.
Well, did she pay April's rent?
She did not pay April's rent.
Did you pay April?
It was just April, and then I had every intention of paying rent, and then my stuff was all outside ruined.
No. Look at me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Your stuff wasn't outside ruined in April.
No, it
Miss
wasn't.
Kitteridge.
I was late.
So you didn't pay rent in all of April. That's
I didn't
not
pay
late.
rent in April, but we did have an agreement that I would pay her. I said I was going to pay her in the middle of May for April's rent and May's rent.
Just a second. You didn't pay April, so you owe her April's rent.
Yes.
I'm not interested in your social
Okay.
life. I couldn't give a rat's
know.
behind about your social life. This is a lawsuit.
Yeah.
You owe her April's rent, and you were there until mid-May, so you owe May's rent. Now, the only other part of your lawsuit is the sofa. I'd like to see pictures of the sofa.
Sure. I also have a countersuit for all of my stuff that got ruined. I'm sorry.
What kind of... I'm not looking at you. Didn't you get...
Sorry, I apologize.
Your Honor, I have pictures of the sofa and also text messages kind of related to this. I'm sorry about my language.
You're talking about this mark here?
Yes.
Okay.
How would I even do that?
You're capable of almost anything, I would say.
I'm not liking the two of you.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Your Honor.
At all.
We like you.
Okay. Well,
did we already explain that you're a fire dancer?
I'm not looking at anybody.
No one fire dances indoors. That's absurd.
You're drunk all the time anyway.
You're twice as drunk and half as attractive.
Cool.
Tell them goodbye.
Goodbye. Parties are excused. You may step out.
We're done. Come back when you can learn to behave.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So you were paying her $785 a month.
I thought it was $550 a month, and the extra money I thought was for
but
utilities.
But you made a mistake.
Why would you do that twice?
$780. You're doing it again.
I'm sorry, I'm doing it.
You're doing it again.
And later today,
how much money did he give you?
$200.
He picked up the trailer, and in exchange for the trailer, he gave you $200.
For initial payment.
You have that in the contract?
It was all verbal.
Well, that's a problem.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
In a case recall from earlier today, Lauren Glenn says ex-girlfriend Brittany Kittredge owes for rent and a burned couch. Brittany is countersuing, also for property damage.
Judge, this is recall case number 137 in the matter of Glenn versus Kittredge. Parties are reminded
yourselves appropriately.
Yes,
Your Honor.
So sorry.
Good, great. Okay, so when we left off, you owe her $1,100 for 2 months' rent, the month of April that you didn't pay and the month of May that you didn't pay, and you were there part of the month of May. Now let's talk about the burnt couch that I saw. Do you know how that happened?
I honestly have no idea.
Do you have any proof that, look at me, do you have any proof that the defendant caused whatever damage exists to the 2 cushions on your couch?
I have a couple of text messages where she doesn't deny doing it.
That's not enough.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I read those text messages.
Yes.
Do you have any other text messages?
She called me and told me that.
That what?
It happened. She said that, yes, I burnt it. You deserved it.
No, I don't believe that. Okay, she owes you $1,100 for rent. Now, when did you get home from your being away?
May 13th.
So the day after she moved out?
Yes.
You came home on May 13th. Now, do you have the bill from the locksmith?
I do not have the bill from the
On
locksmith.
what date did you call the locksmith?
I called him as soon as I came home, and I realized that
Just a second.
Okay.
You called him on the 13th?
Yes.
And tell me why you called the locksmith on the 13th.
Because I realized the couches were burned, and she refused to come and get her things, so...
Okay, so now she doesn't owe you for May's rent because you locked her out in mid-May. She owes you for April's rent. That's $550.
It's $785, actually.
How much rent did she pay you in March of 2015?
$785.
Is that correct?
No. I don't know. I have
Just a second.
Number.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, she says $550. You say her share was $785. Now, your entire rent on the apartment is what?
Our entire rent was, I think,
No, now you've been living... Listen to me, Miss Glenn. Now you've been living there by yourself. You should not have to think about what your rent is. That's very easy to find out from your landlord. How much is your rent?
I have a copy of our payments.
I'd like to see it.
I'm so sorry. It's $1,570.
Okay, so you were paying her $785 a month.
I thought that the total rent was $1,100, and it was $550 a month, and the extra money I thought was for
but
utilities.
you made a mistake.
Why would you do that twice?
$780. You're doing it again.
I'm sorry. I won't do it
You're
anymore.
doing it again.
Sorry.
$785. That's what she owes you for the month of April. Now, let's talk about your counterclaim.
Yes, please.
When you changed the keys and locked her out, I want you to look at me, Miss Glenn. I want you to tell me what you put outside. You acknowledge that you put her stuff outside.
I do,
what
yes.
Specifically did you put outside?
I put a TV outside.
TV?
Yes.
Where did you put it?
I put it on our porch.
This is a condo or a private house? What is it?
It's like a house that's made into 2 condos.
Okay, so you put the TV outside. I'll see the bill for the TV. What else did you put outside?
I believe I put some of her boots and a guitar outside.
What else?
I think like a mitt and some clothes.
I have pictures of the other things if you would like to see them.
I'll take a look at it. What's wrong with the guitar?
Oh, it got rained on and it doesn't work anymore, and it was all scratched. Like all of my stuff got rained on because I didn't know she put it outside, or I would have came and got it.
There's a text
Just
message.
a second. Here we go. Here we go. You're not following the drill.
So sorry.
Sorry.
She put your stuff outside on the 13th of May. On what date did you come back to get it?
I think it was the 15th.
Did you ask for a police escort?
No, I didn't. I had my friend go with me. I didn't know that all my stuff was going to be outside. I thought I would just go and get my stuff.
Okay. Now, I'd like to see the text message that you were telling me.
I did, Your Honor.
I'd like to
Yes,
take
sir.
a look at it. Okay. So, Miss Glenn, she lives there just like you do. She had lived there for a year. According to you, she paid you $785 a month in rent for the time that she lived there,
Yes,
with
Your
the
Honor.
exception of the month of April. You have no right to put her out. There is no legal basis for you to put her out. By changing the locks and disposing of her stuff and putting it outside and rendering it subject to inclement weather, you are totally responsible for any damage that was done to the property.
She didn't pay me rent, so technically she didn't live there, right?
You just told me she paid you $785 a month.
Yeah, but not for the months prior to that.
No, she's still a tenant.
Okay.
And there are still avenues to go through, not throwing her stuff out on the street. That's not what you do.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
And May 2nd of 2015 is when it was reported stolen, when I noticed that it was stolen.
Just a second. Just a second. It's not stolen. The trailer belonged to his father, period. Sold. You're not getting the trailer back.
real people, Judge Judy.
Lauren Glenn says ex-girlfriend Brittany Kittredge owes for rent and a burned couch. Brittany is countersuing, also for property damage.
Okay, so the TV, you have bills for the guitar?
Yeah, there's receipts for, there's 2 guitars in there.
Guitar Center was, I can't read this.
I think it's $496. And I didn't have receipts for everything that was out there because I had it for a long time, so.
Well, she owed you $785 for the month of April's rent. I'm deducting that from what you owe her for her damaged property. So I'm dismissing your claim, and on the counterclaim, I'm awarding you $2,600. We're done here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, you're excused. You may step out.
Justice was served.
She totally owes me for rent, at least. Like the couch. Obviously she did.
She cheated on me.
She's seen a lady or two as well. Don't let her fool you.
Don't ever date a beautiful fire dancer.
She's a fun girl. Like, I'd like to be friends with her. Maybe. Down the line.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Espin versus Lee. Step forward.
Richard Espin is suing his friend's ex-husband, Robert Lee, for the return or value of farm equipment.
It is your claim that the defendant purchased by your father.
It is correct.
From Mr. Lee's then-wife, certain farm equipment.
Correct.
Mr. and Mrs. Lee are now divorced. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And when your father passed away, you inherited the responsibility of going through all of his things. And I assume you have proof to show me that your father made an agreement with Mrs. Lee to purchase 2 pieces of a truck and a baler or something.
It was a trailer and a round bale hauler, and the proof that I have is witness testimony and a receipt.
A receipt from whom?
My witness, Mrs. Lee.
Okay, who is that? You? Okay. Mrs. Lee, can you tell me when you sold Mr. Espin's father this property?
We made the agreement in November of 2012.
Okay. Tell me the circumstances of the agreement. What were you selling him and for what price?
His father had wanted a cattle trailer and a round bale buggy, and I agreed to go ahead and sell it.
Were you neighbors?
No, we were really good friends. He had poor health, and I'm a home health registered nurse, so we had a very close relationship.
Also, Your Honor, we live in a small community.
Okay. And this property that you sold to him was on the property where you lived with your property for?
A total of $1,400.
Did you receive the money from him?
I received partial payment.
That's in 2012.
2013 is when he came and picked up the cattle trailer is when he made a payment.
Just a second. You picked up the cattle trailer in what month and year?
It was around May 2013 after the land had dried up because it was real rainy and you couldn't get back there.
He picked up the trailer in May of 2013.
Yes, ma'am.
And how much money did he give you?
$200.
And how much was this buggy?
The cattle trailer for $900 and the buggy was $500.
So he only gave you $200. Why?
Well, he was a disabled vet, and we was really good friends. And
whatever. He picked up the trailer, and in exchange for the trailer, he gave you $200
for initial payment.
You have that in the contract?
It was all verbal.
Well, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, so in exchange for that, you got $200. Now, in May of 2013, was your divorce pending?
No, we were still together.
And do you now have the trailer?
I have.
You own a trailer that was in your father's possession at the time of his death. And as far as I know, unless you have evidence to the contrary, there was no order prohibiting anybody from selling that property.
There is, Your Honor.
Okay. In the divorce proceedings, sometimes there is an order, don't sell property. What's the date of that order?
December 16th is when it was, November 2014 is when it was, we went to court.
This was sold before.
No, ma'am.
You say no, ma'am. Just a minute.
We split in 2012 of July.
I don't care. That's not relevant.
Right. I was on the pipeline, and May 2nd of 2015 is when it was reported stolen, when I noticed that it was stolen.
Just a second.
There's no place
Just
to
a second. It's not stolen. Let me put the trailer to rest. The trailer belonged to his father at the time of his death. He had paid $200 for it, period. Sold. You're not getting the trailer back. That's gone. Now, the only thing that we have to discuss is this hay buggy. The hay buggy is on your farm?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you pay any money for it?
Yes, I did.
To whom?
I paid it to my witness, Miss Lee.
Great. In what month and year?
That was in May of 2015 is when I...
Then you sue her for the money back because he's keeping his hay buggy. Do you understand? Do you understand? Listen to me carefully.
Yes, ma'am.
The trailer is yours. He's not giving you any property. If you paid her any money, I suggest you sue her for it. Do we understand each other?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. We're done. Thank you.
Your Honor, can you look at my evidence?
Listen to me very carefully, sir. The trailer belonged to his father. You're not getting it back. The hay buggy is on your property where you live. It's yours. If he paid money for a hay buggy that his father doesn't have because he solidified the debt 3 years later, then let him sue the person who he gave the money to because she can't deliver the property. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
We're done. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Well, I was just trying to do the right thing by taking care of my father's debt.
My ex-wife had no right to sell it.
He was well aware of the sale. He was even there to open the gate to let the gentleman in to get the stuff.
I was in Oklahoma at the time.
It's vindictive behavior towards me because he's got so much anger.
For her to move.
Have it in writing.
Her dog's biting my dog, and I threw a kick out, and she started screaming and yelling at me.
A neighbor tries to get the last laugh.
You filed for this protective order. That is such a crock of nonsense. I would have thrown you out and told you to go see a therapist.
But the judge has a knack.
Did you pay this fine, Miss Morris?
No, I did not.
For wiping grins off faces.
Hopefully the city will put a lien on your house.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Tracy Franks is suing her neighbor, Diana Morris, for vet bills and lost wages due to a dog attack. She is also suing for an assault and false charges.
Order. All rise. This is case number 151 on the calendar in the matter of Franks versus Morris.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Franks, are you and Miss Morris neighbors?
Yes, we are.
You live in adjacent houses?
We live approximately 2 blocks away.
For how long?
Approximately going on 4 years now.
Prior to this incident that involved your car in October of last year, did you have a start, and about what?
Approximately October 2014, I was walking my dogs, and I passed her house, and she was approaching in her Jeep, I guess parking in her garage, which is in the alley access, and she was coming. Her dog jumped out and ran at us, me and my 2 Pomeranians, and then it retreated back to the Jeep, and she backed up.
We're not talking about the date of the incident that brings us here.
No, this is one prior incident.
So this is prior. This was a year before.
Yes. The dog jumped out one other time, no attack, no nothing, retreated back into the automobile, and then I turned around, went the other way, and proceeded home.
You had no conversation with her?
No
conversation.
Never seen her in person, ever.
So in the 4 years, this incident was the first one that you had before the incident that you're complaining of today?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And so I was again then walking my dogs, and as I was walking my dogs, she was out watering her hibiscus on her porch, and she started screaming and yelling at me, obscenities, telling me not to walk by her house. Her dogs were barking. My dogs were barking. I couldn't really hear a whole lot, so I said it was a free country. You never apologized for the first incident and your dog jumping out, and I continued on. And then on Halloween, which was Saturday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, I come around the block up my street, and I could hear as I was passing by, usually the dogs are running back and forth across the fence. And this time I didn't hear that. I heard the dogs confined to her garage area. And I continued on, and as I was coming south down my road going home, she then came north in her big Jeep with big mud tires and veered all the way across the street, ran up on somebody's property, did a 180 around me. I had my dogs. I didn't know if I was getting ran over. My dogs, I was pulling them in.
Is what you're telling me she was home and went and got the dogs?
I believe that the dogs were confined in the garage and she was at home and waiting for me. She could probably hear me coming because all the dogs in the neighborhood bark at one another when you're walking them. So I think she was ready for me to come. And at that time, when I came around the corner and she came with the Jeep, she came up, hopped these people's property, did a 180, parked like as if she was going to wash her car on their property. And at that time, the dog had jumped out from behind me.
What kind of dog?
She has cattle dogs, Australian Shepherds, or...
How did they get out of the car?
I didn't have my top on at the time. I took it off for the summer and then hadn't put it on yet.
Okay, go ahead.
And as she approached the curb, I had my dogs. I was raking them in on their retractable leashes, pulling them in. At the same time behind me, one jumped out, and I was watching her come around, making sure I wasn't going to get ran over or my animals weren't going to get ran over. And she got up on that, and at the same time, her dog's biting my dog, and I threw a kick out and almost fell down, and she's cussing and screaming at me, telling me not to be walking my dogs by her place, anything like that. And I ran around, and I got her license plate from the back because there was not a front one. I ran home, called 911 at 1:10 and let them know what had happened. And she called 911 at 5:30 and claimed that it happened 20 minutes ago.
Okay. Do you have the reports, police reports?
I actually have the recordings.
Yeah, I would actually like to see the report if you have it.
I have numerous reports.
The one that came in at 1:10.
The one at 1:10 they did not give me, but this one on 11:3 it does specify that I did report it, and they came back out to see my dog. It does have the date of 10/31 highlighted on there.
Just a second. This date is what date?
11/3 I called animal control.
3 days later.
Yes, the incident happened on Saturday. My dog to the vet and had to go to work and called animal control and the police station. And it states the 31st it happened.
I'd like to see the vet's write-up because you claimed that your dog was bitten. I'd like to see that.
The picture?
I'd like to see any evidence that you have of a dog bite and the vet's report.
There's all the pictures.
No, just show me the picture of the dog's injury and the vet report.
Okay, vet report. Here's the report.
No, this wasn't a bite. This is not a picture of a bite. Let's understand each other. The vet did surgery, but the vet did surgery on this dog for something else.
No, I have a prior picture of the abscess on that swelled up.
I want to see a picture on the 31st of a dog bite on your dog's face. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
I completely understand what you're saying.
Well, then let's get to it.
There was no blood. It has, if you look at the bottom of the report of the vet bill, it does state that it was a puncture wound on the face of the dog, and that's what swelled up.
Well, there was
just no blood.
I need a report from a vet that shows me. Certainly, this doesn't show any injury to the dog. I don't see any injury to the dog. Am I missing something?
The swelling on the side.
Am I missing something? Do you see any injury to the dog?
Not really. I just see swelling on that side.
Swelling?
At the bottom of the vet bill, it states that it was from a puncture wound.
I see what's typed in here.
Yes.
In a different type than the rest of the report.
That's from the Mays Animal Hospital. You could call him directly if you wanted to.
I'm not going to call him directly.
I didn't add that on there.
I'm not going to call him directly. You have a police report? Did you pay this fine, Miss Morris?
No, I did not.
Why?
Because they're false. Well, the thing is, he never comes out. I never get a warning. I just get the fines in the mail. I appealed it.
And what happened?
They assessed the order, and I tried to appeal the order. They keep on refusing my appeal.
So you have to pay this fine.
Jeep with me.
No, they weren't. They weren't in the Jeep with you. They were out of your control on at least 2 occasions. Because I'm not sure about the nexus between the abscess that the dog had and what happened with your dog. I'm not sure. Because certainly if I had dogs that I loved, like you love your dogs, and my dog was bitten on a Saturday, I would not wait till Monday to go to a vet.
I was unemployed.
I don't care. On Monday you went. Did you get a job between Saturday and Monday?
No, my mother paid for it.
She would have paid for it on Saturday, too.
Yeah.
You went, you know, you have an answer for everything. Just like your mom paid for it on Monday, mom would have paid for it on Sunday.
I know.
Oh, I know.
ER's expensive.
So that doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
You understand?
No, I understand.
That doesn't excuse the fact that you can't drive around with your Jeep without the top on it, with your dogs, not under your control, so that they can scare people.
Well, they usually don't jump out unless I get out, but with the first incident that she mentioned in 2014, I didn't even know she even existed until June of last year. That's when she started coming around. I've seen her a few times at 3 o'clock in the morning when I've come home. She has passed my house, and I said, who is this lady walking around?
Did you file a restraining order against her?
Yes, I did.
I'd like to see the basis. Do you own your own home?
Yes, I do.
The city's going to put a lien on it. On your home.
Yeah, they've already threatened me, yes.
No. Yeah, but they ought to do it.
They've called me.
They ought to do it. So now what I'm reading, Miss Morris, is that after she filed her police complaint, you filed for this protective order. That is such a crock of nonsense that if I was sitting in court, I would have thrown you out and told you to go see a therapist. Actually, I would have. I would have said, you know, this is a courthouse. You want the medical office someplace else. You're disturbed because she walks by your house with her dogs at all hours of the day and night trying to annoy you. And did somebody actually give you a temporary restraining order?
No, I knew it wasn't going to. Yeah,
just a second. So they didn't give you a temporary restraining order. I have faith, again, in the legal system.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
she had a problem with one of my friends because they were with the same guy, basically, and they didn't like that. And she was screaming at her. Well, when she saw me, that's when she approached me. In my driver's side mirror, I saw her kick my car.
May I see the police report?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy.
Tracy Frank says neighbor Diana Morris owes for vet bills, lost wages, an assault, and false charges. Diana's countersuing for harassment.
Now, you did serve her.
Yes, I did.
Is that correct?
Yes, I did.
That's going to cost you $1,500. Now, hopefully the city will put a lien on your house. Hopefully, because you can't just keep ignoring that and you can't abuse the system. You don't like that she walks in your alleyway? That's too bad. Insulate your house with material so that you don't hear it.
Well, Your Honor, she's actually made noise with her dogs 3, 4, 5 in the morning, waking up neighbors.
I'm not granting you any money on the vet bill because I'm not satisfied, to my satisfaction, that her dog bit your dog, not based on the proof that you give me today. It's possible that your dog had a throat abscess. It's possible. That throat abscess didn't develop in a 48-hour period. Otherwise, you would have a more complete and fulsome report from the vet. So I'm really not satisfied that there was any injury. But I am compelled, because one of the things you're suing her for is for filing a false restraining order, and that she did. And did you respond to it?
Yes.
Did you have to go to court?
Yes, I did during probation.
$1,500 judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
Parties are excused and they step out.
I didn't know she was alive. I didn't even know she lived in the neighborhood until she started coming around.
When somebody wants to try to run me over, I feel they need to pay for their consequences.
Judge Judy says I need psychiatric help.
So she does need the psychiatric help.
I think it's Tracy that needs it, not me.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Hall versus Cabrera. Step forward.
22-year-old Ashley Hall is suing her former friend, 20-year-old Marissa Cabrera, for damaging her car when she kicked it.
Ms. Hall, you knew the defendant from high school, and it is your claim that after a night in a bar where you allegedly that Miss Cabrera, who's underage for drinking, was drunk. She vandalized your car by kicking it.
Yes.
And you want her to fix the car. Ms. Cabrera denies that she kicked your car. She has a countersuit for filing a false police report and online bullying. So let's get to the evening that this happened. This was on July 31st of last year.
Yes, ma'am.
What's the name of the bar?
Stampede.
How old are you?
22.
And you?
20.
Did you go to the bar with your ID or somebody else's ID?
With my ID.
Did you drink at all when you were there?
I didn't.
No alcohol?
No.
Now, the two of you had some negative history in high school. Yes. What was that?
We actually were friends in high year. I didn't like how she was presenting herself at the bar. She would be rude to people. She would be promiscuous, make out with two different guys the same night. I didn't want that reputation.
Did you have an argument about it?
I tried confronting her about it. She denied it. So I just told her, look, I don't want to be friends anymore. No hard feelings.
So tell me now what happened on the 31st of July.
The 31st, we showed up with different friends. 3 of my friends met up with me. She came with her friends. We tried avoiding them. They tried egging us on, flipping their hair.
No, just a second. Why were you avoiding them? Did your friends have problems with
We've had problems with them before.
Okay, is that because they're younger, or is that...
We just didn't like how they presented themselves, and they would bully people.
Okay. So you try to stay away?
Yes.
Go ahead.
And after we got out of the bar about 1:30, 2 o'clock when it closed, she had a problem with one of my friends because they were with the same guy basically, and they didn't like that. And she was screaming at her. Well, when she saw me, that's when she approached me with one of her witnesses, Lexi. They started yelling at me. I told them, I don't understand why you're so caught up in this. I don't want to be friends with you. It's not a big deal. I don't have anything against you. I just want to be away from the drama. And that's when people were yelling at me, telling me, just get in your car. So that's what I did. And in my driver's side mirror, I saw her kick my car, and I have...
May I see the police report?
Yes, ma'am. And that's the receipt as well.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Can you think of any reason why she would tell the police that you kicked the plaintiff's car and that she told you she would not lie for you if the police asked her?
Correct.
Now you can tell me why you think this person who was your friend would lie to the police.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Ashley Hall says former friend Marissa Cabrera vandalized her vehicle after a night out at a bar. Marissa is countersuing for harassment, a false police report, and online bullying.
What's your last name?
Owen.
Yours?
Cabrera.
What's your last name?
Mosbacher.
Miss Gehring isn't here.
No, ma'am. She had work.
She's not here.
Okay.
Now, when you left that evening after this incident in the parking lot, which there was an incident in the parking lot, correct?
Yes.
You left with Miss Gehring.
Correct.
Had you come to the bar with Miss Gehring?
We all came as a group, yes.
You and your group included Miss Gehring? Is not an answer.
Correct, yes.
How many cars were used? How many people were in your car?
2 coming and 2 going.
Name the other 2 people in the car. Coming.
It was me and Alexis.
Alexis what?
Owen, my witness.
And going home?
Me and Gehring.
So she was a friend of yours?
Correct.
Can you think of any reason why she would tell the police that you kicked the plaintiff's car?
Me and...
So the answer would be yes. You can think of a reason.
Yes, I could.
That your friend that day, when interviewed by the police, told them that you kicked the plaintiff's car and that she told you she would not lie for you if the police asked her.
Correct.
Now you can tell me why you think this person who was your friend would lie to the police.
Gehring and me have had problems in high school. We've had a patchy friendship, I could say, and as she has been with everybody else. She's been off and on with every one of her friends. They used to call her a rent-a-friend. That's how she is.
Well, that's not a reason for her to lie about you committing a crime.
I did not commit a crime. I did not kick Ashley's car.
Well, you're not following my question. The reason that you're giving me for why the person that you chose after this altercation to leave the premises with, who was questioned by the police the next day, who came with you and was with your group, when asked by the police, didn't say, I didn't. She said, you kicked the car, and she told you that night that if the police asked her, she would tell them the truth. So that's the answer you're giving me, because, yeah, sometimes she's your friend, sometimes she's other people's friends. That's the answer that you're giving me.
And she feeds off of drama, so if there's any incident, she would pick anybody's side, whoever she wants. And I took her home that night, not because, like, we're really good friends, because we aren't. I took her home because she needed a ride home. That's why.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. May I see pictures of the car?
Yes, ma'am.
May I see an estimate for the damage replacement? Good. We're done. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,600.
Your Honor,
Thank
what
you.
about
That's
the
it.
counterclaim?
We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the
Intoxicated that night, and she just, I guess, didn't like the fact that I didn't want to be friends with her.
Well, because obviously she's always had problems with me, jealousy or whatever it may be since high school.
She kicked it while I was getting in, and she had cowboy boots on. That's why there's a big dent.
Her normal self, trying to pick a fight, probably just to get money.
I go to school out in Texas, so I just got rid of the drama when I left to go back to college.
I will never speak to that girl again.
He was supposed to stay 300 feet away from him at all times.
He says a restraining order couldn't stop his cousin.
I seen Anna grab something from Patricia, and Anna was coming towards my car.
And is called to 911.
I heard something.
Paints a vivid picture.
I heard what appeared to be a crash. Was the window smashed?
That's when they threw the rock.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Billy Dye is suing his former friend, Pat Bailey Mangroom, and Pat's friends, Anna and Shondell Coppage, for vandalizing his car.
Order. All rise. Versus Bailey Mangroom Coppage.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat.
Mr. Dye, Miss Mangroom is your cousin.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
According to you, you got Miss Mangroom a job at the same place where you were working.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
What kind of place were you
It
working?
was at Metro PCS Wireless.
According to you, your cousin was promoted to a better job at the same company.
Yes, Judge.
And this lady, whose last name is Coppage, and you're her husband.
Correct.
This lady also works at the same company.
Yes, Judge.
But you do not.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, something happened, and you lost your job.
I actually quit because there was too much.
Your Honor, he did not. He was actually terminated.
Don't speak unless I'm speaking to you. And it is your claim that all three of these defendants vandalized your car.
Yes, Judge.
Now, you say in your complaint that you were granted a protective order
Yes, Judge.
against Miss Mangroom.
Yes, Judge.
Do you have a copy of that?
I don't. I went to the No, ma'am.
You don't. Did you have a trial?
Yes.
And at the end of the trial, did you get a protective order?
Yes, you got granted for the 2 years.
Is that correct?
Only in part. His order of protection got granted only because I was unable to show. I had one against him.
No. Did he get an order of protection? Any of the paperwork with regard to the protective order?
This is the one I brought with me.
Well, I'd like to see it.
Here you go.
And then, Bird, while I'm looking at this, I'd like to see the order. Thank you. Okay, got it. There was, in fact, a default. You were granted a protective order for 2 years.
Yes.
You were supposed to stay 300 feet away from him at all times, and you were supposed to refrain from exercising any contact with him, including through social media. Okay, now, an incident occurred, according to you, on March 25th of this year. First involving Miss Mangroom and Miss Coppage.
Yes, Judge.
Just the two ladies. Tell me what happened.
What happened is I currently work at McDonald's. I was heading to work, and when I was driving down Broadway at the corner of Broadway and 6th Street, there was a stoplight. I had to stop because it was a red light.
What time?
Around 6:45.
In the morning?
At night. In the afternoon, yes, Judge. And I was looking through my side window, because, you know, it was to my left. I seen Anna grab something from Patricia.
Did you see, were they on foot or?
They were actually standing outside in front of Metro PCS.
Your Honor, that's not what the police state
Just
report.
interrupt him. I get back to you. Don't interrupt him. They were standing in front of what's PCS?
Metro PCS Wireless.
That's where they worked?
Yes, ma'am. That's where they work.
What were you going past there for?
I was heading to work.
And you have to pass that place to go to work in McDonald's? There's
Yes,
no
'cause
other
it's like a
way
block
that
away.
you...
The other streets that go down, it's all one way if I have to go.
Okay. It's a block and a half away?
Yes, from Metro PCS.
In what town do you live, sir?
Rockford, Illinois.
How many McDonald's are there?
There's several. There's...
Well, why do you work in one that's a block and a half away from Miss Mangrew?
Because I live right a block from Metro PCS.
Well, if you live a block away, what were you in your car for?
Because I was driving to work. I don't walk because the problems that I'm having with these people, I don't trust anything to do with them because that's why I stay away. I rather drive and then walk. If I walk, something else might seriously happen.
Okay. So now you're driving to work and you see the two ladies who were in front of their place of employment.
Yes.
And you saw them do what?
I seen Anna grab something from Patricia, and Anna was coming towards my car. So I couldn't go anywhere because the stoplight was there. So I'm like, I almost ran the light, because I'm like, I'm gonna prevent from anything happening. Well, when the light turned green, Anna squirted something all over my car. I have a picture showing that they squirted mustard all over my car. When I was driving, I smelled something very like, it's not mustard on my white car. A picture showing where there's mustard squirted on my car.
I'd like to see it. Okay.
So what I did is...
What did you do?
I pulled a block down the street where the dollar store is. I pulled over, I called the police.
Okay. Do you have a police report?
I actually have the police report, the call that I made right after when they actually damaged my car. And this happened right after I called for the mustard. What happened was when the police came out and seen my car...
Don't tell me what anybody saw. Okay, well, this police report had to do with the second event that involved Mr. Copage.
Yes, it involved all three.
Okay. All right. So now I want you to tell me about the second incident. That also happened on the same date.
It was right after the mustard. The police officers told me to go wash my car if it was stained or anything. Come back to where I was sitting, call the police, and they'll just file criminal damage.
Okay.
So I was rubbing it really hard to see if it come off. Well, it was coming off. By the time I was actually calling dispatch, and actually I had the 911 right here is when I was calling them. Anna and Patricia was walking across the street, come into the dollar store. They walked up to the dollar store's door, and then they came back, walked by my car. They split up. When Patricia split up and walked to the side of Family Dollar, I think because I just wanted to keep the problems minimum, I was just waiting for the police to come.
You had called the police?
I have called the police. The thing is, I was calling the police to say, you know what, I'm getting the mustard off. I was scrubbing it really hard to rub it off. At that time, I was calling dispatch. That's when I seen them approaching, coming across the street.
Did you say anything to them?
I didn't say absolutely nothing at all. I don't want any problem. I just wanted to stay.
Just a second. Well, did you tell the police that they were coming back?
When I was on the audio right here, you can hear where it says that they're coming across now.
I'd like to hear that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm actually my phone kind of thing. The girl that actually get in the car, she's actually walking by my car, calling me. And now she's walking to my car. What's her date of birth? I don't know. Only reason I found out is because when I'm able to call the court records and I seen it. Actually, they were coming to my car and smashed my window.
They had already smashed the window. They'd already smashed the window because I heard something.
Yes.
Turn it off. Turn it off. While you were on the phone with the police, I heard what appeared to be a crash. Was it then that your window was broken?
Yeah, that's when they threw the rock.
Okay.
Yes,
fine,
Judge.
Very good. Now, that's all.
I have a witness here that was, apparently when I went back the last week, it was...
Did you know her before?
No, ma'am.
No, and she's not mentioned in the report.
What part of be quiet don't you understand? Tell me your name.
Amber Bainey.
Do you know the plaintiff?
I do not.
Tell me the first time that you met him.
It was actually at the dollar store. It was approximately a week after this had happened. I had seen him and asked him if he was okay and if they,
Tell me what you observed on March 25th. Do you work at the dollar store?
No, ma'am. I recently moved to Rockford, and I was loading my stuff into my car, and I heard the commotion and heard the actual hit of the glass.
Did you see who was there? Did you see who was throwing the rocks?
All three of the defendants were there.
Okay, good. Have a seat. Thank you. Now I'll hear you. Your testimony is relatively simple.
Yes.
Listen to me, because you say that none of you could have been present there because you were attending something someplace else.
Yes, and I have that.
Well, I'd like to see it.
Okay. I also have the police report. I don't know if you want to see that.
I do.
And then
well,
also...
I have a police report. I just want to make certain that it's the same police report. I'll take a look. You also have?
I also have messages from him saying how he will pay someone to bid. He will like it record, and this is his personal page from Facebook.
Just a second, I'll look at it.
Judge, I deactivated
What is this?
my Facebook a couple months.
This is nonsense. I don't want to look at this at all. Give this back to her. It's not evidence.
And you can actually call her.
I don't have to call anybody. It's not evidence. It's nonsense. This is May 30th. This is after the event, right?
Yes,
yes, ma'am.
I have this police report. Now, can I see the estimate for your damage, please?
Yes, Judge.
Yeah.
There you go.
You have absolutely no proof that you weren't there.
And Judge?
You have no proof that you weren't.
You can actually call her. I was in the Chicagoland area.
Listen to me. If you have a witness, you bring a witness.
She can't come.
Well, she can't come? I believe her.
Okay,
absolutely,
how about my
and I believe that. And I believe this.
For actually the harassment and lost wages.
Just a second. And I believe this.
Judge.
Shh, quiet. I believe that.
And also,
I
she was not here.
How do you know she wasn't there? Just
because
a second.
I actually have messages in my phone from his sister-in-law that just sent me this last night in my phone. He smashed his own window. I just received this message from his sister-in-law
last night. Just a second. No. That's hearsay.
Okay.
And then I also have about my countersuit, all the harassment he has been doing to me since January. Lost wages going back and forth to court since February.
Let me tell you this. You want to do away with a protective order that was issued in...
Just the countersuit.
I'm speaking.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
It would be disgusting of you as a child to let your mother live in a bad apartment, right?
Yes.
So it must be okay.
Okay, yes.
Good. Now, just a second. I'm not talking to you. You're the defendant.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Billy Dye says former friend Pat Bailey Mangroom and Pat's friends, Anna and Shondell Coppage, vandalized his vehicle. The defendants are countersuing for harassment and lost wages.
Now, you want to do away with a protective order that was issued for 2 years in March because of some excuse, again, that you have why you couldn't be there, why someone else, another witness that you had couldn't be there. Then you go back to the court and say, this is the proof that I have. I was hospitalized. Our excuse you think will persuade the judge to open up that protective order. Other than that, I'm not hearing your counterclaim. Do you understand?
All he's doing is harassing me because I wouldn't rehire him. He even said in these
Judgment
messages...
for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,170.
He's going to harass me
Counterclaims
the rest of my
We're
life.
done.
Thank you, Judge.
He'll be back in Rockford harassing me again.
You may step out.
He did it himself. He sat there and told everyone on social media.
Never. Never.
I kicked my own window in just so I could try to get some money out of her and throw her in jail.
Never told anyone that I broke a window or anything. I would never break my own car window that I really cherish to have.
That's how crazy he is.
Because every time I hear about my car, it hurts me.
And now all he's doing is continuing to sit here in court and make these lies and allegations to try to just discredit my name.
Because I work very hard for something that I pay for.
I guess karma is really going to get him in the end.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter, Connolly versus Romero. Step forward.
John and Suzanne Connolly are suing their former tenant, Veronica Romero, for rent and property damage.
You are landlords in a building.
We are.
And you rented to this lady. She was your tenant, according to your papers, for 17 years. Is that correct?
That's incorrect.
How long?
We rented to her grandmother for about approximately, that is her sister.
Who is she?
She is my current tenant's sister.
Daughter. She's my mother. That's my mother. My grandmother rents from them currently.
Great. Could you stand up, please? Tell me your last name.
Hernandez.
Ms. Hernandez, your mother has been a tenant of Mr. and Mrs. Connolly for 15 years?
Correct.
And in all of those 15 years, have you ever moved to evict her mother?
No.
She's been a good tenant.
She has.
Pays her rent on time.
She does.
Apartment is kept in good order.
It is.
No.
Just a second. I'm not asking you anything. Would you let your mother live in a bad apartment? Look at me.
No.
You wouldn't. Right, because that would be disgusting of you as a child to let your mother live in a bad apartment, right?
Yes.
So she's been living in this apartment for 15 years, so it must be okay.
Okay, yes.
Good.
Well,
Good.
let them know about
just
the
a second.
damages, Mom.
I'm not talking to you. You're the defendant. Because for 15 years they rented to your grandmother, who was a good tenant. Then they rented to you, and they rented to you what month and year?
June 1st, 2015.
And at that time you were 17 years old?
No.
How old were you?
Me, currently, I'm 32.
Oh, you're 32?
No.
Me too.
That'd be nice.
June of 2015. And when did you move out?
I left January 11th. There's a text message.
January, just a second,
Yeah.
January 11th, 2016.
Yeah.
That's when you say you left.
Yeah.
When do you say she left?
She left approximately, Judge Judy, on
March 3rd.
March 3rd without any notice.
Okay, I'd like to know.
I have a 3-day notice.
I understand you have a 3-day notice. That doesn't mean you left.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
That means that you got a 3-day notice to leave in
And
January.
I did.
But that doesn't mean you left.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Do you have proof of that?
I don't have my bank statements.
Why not?
Because the card that I used to withdraw money was discontinued because I upgraded my debit card. So I couldn't get all the records from the bank anymore. So
it's ridiculous.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
John and Suzanne Connolly say former tenant Veronica Romero owes for rent and property damage.
Now, when you moved out of the apartment that they were renting to you, give me the address that you moved to.
I moved to my mother's.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Now, when was the last time you paid the Connollys rent?
December of 2015.
December?
Because I left and moved January 11th.
Just a second.
Yeah.
December of 2013. Yeah. And how much money did you give them?
I only gave them $550.
And how much was your rent?
$800.
And what about in November? How much rent did you give them in November?
I wasn't late only for December.
I didn't ask you
there
late.
was
Late you didn't pay them because you didn't pay them what you were supposed to. Now I'm back in November.
$800.
How much rent did you pay in November?
$800.
Do you have proof of that?
Yeah.
I'd like
don't
to-
have my bank statements.
Why not?
Because the card that I used to withdraw money was discontinued because I upgraded my debit card. So I couldn't get all the records from the bank anymore. So
it's ridiculous. Did she pay in November?
She paid us on November, I believe it was the 30th. She paid us $550 to go towards some back rent on some months that she didn't pay us.
When did she stop paying you the full $800 a month?
That would be in August of 2015. She gave us $600 on August the 10th.
That's a lie.
All you have to do is show me your bank records. I'm not going to hear you otherwise. Do you understand? Because, Miss Romero, I'm explaining it to you carefully. She never had a rent dispute with them.
Judge Judy, honestly, because he
no,
talks to my grandmother.
Don't tell
badly.
me. Listen to me. Don't tell me honestly. Your grandmother, does she still live there?
She's still there because
Just a second. Don't tell me because. I don't want to know because your mother says she would not let her mother live in.
Let her know.
She wouldn't let her mother live in a situation that was untenable. So your grandmother is still there. They've never moved to evict them, which means there's nothing to suggest, even in your family history, that they're trying to get over.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, how much rent does her grandmother pay?
She pays $850.
She's on Section 8, so she doesn't pay very much at all. She's on housing.
How much does she owe you?
$4,400.
Do you have any proof that you made those payments in the amount of $4,400?
I don't owe him that because on here it says I only owe $800 and $200 was from December that I owed and $800 here. This is a three. My mom.
Judgment for the
who is
plaintiff
sick.
in the amount of $4,400. We're done.
Excuse me.
We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Former brother-in-laws tangle over a repossession.
That was not the last payment, and he knew that.
He made almost $7,000 worth of payments on this truck, and you hustled him.
Next Judge Judy.
I've learned that you have to trust your instincts, and I knew when she walked into my office
He pretty much lied about me paying that much rent.
that I was dealing with somebody that I really didn't want to, but because of her grandmother, which has been an absolute doll.
He's harassed me and my mother, who's sick with cancer.
As a tenant for us for 15 years, I went ahead and accepted her as a tenant. So, lesson learned.
But what I'm going to do is get a restraining order after this.
No more free rides, and you know what? There are still good people out there.
It is what it is. I'm glad it's over, so I can move on.
It didn't work out in an almost unseemly way.
A roommate's violent eviction.
I have a video of them forcing me out, Your Honor. I could play it.
And there was no going back.
They served me with a temporary restraining order and said the room was empty.
To one of you, who's going to tell me the truth?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
19-year-old Lakin Pickrell is suing her former roommates, Francesca Ortega and boyfriend Martin Torres, for the return of rent and security deposit, stolen and damaged property, an assault, and a false restraining order.
Order. All rise. This is case number 149 on the calendar, the matter of Pickrell versus Ortega Torres.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Ms. Pickrell, you rented a room in an apartment that was either owned or rented by the defendants. And it is your claim that it didn't work out, but it didn't work out in a sort of uncross your arms. It didn't work out in an almost unseemly way. And you were told to leave the apartment. You had already paid your rent for the month of May. Were the authorities called?
Yes, the authorities were called on the 23rd
Of May?
Of May until the 27th of May. Every day until I was forced out of the residence.
Okay. And what you want is you paid June's rent?
Yes, correct.
And what was the rent they were charging you for the room?
$650 for the room.
When had you moved in? In what month?
I moved in March 1st, 2015.
So March was okay?
Yes, March was fine.
And then you moved your boyfriend in?
Yes, he is staying there.
But with their permission, they charged him an extra $100 a month for increased utilities.
Yes.
When did you move your boyfriend in?
He moved in towards the middle of March, and
then they accepted your rent for April?
Yes.
Is it correct that you accepted her rent for April?
Yes.
That's either a yes or a no.
No.
He says yes, you say no. You want to discuss it with each other?
It's because she has the dates wrong. She moved in April, not March.
Could you please answer my question? Did she pay April's rent?
Yes.
Yes, she paid the first rent.
Did you?
That's
and you-
the month she moved in.
I'm only going to listen to one of you. Who's going to tell me the truth? Figure it out.
Marta, if you're getting the dates wrong, you can say yes.
She paid April's rent, which you accepted, $650.
Yes.
And she paid May's rent,
Yes.
$650.
Yes.
And did she pay April's rent by check or cash?
Check.
And did she pay May's rent by check or cash?
Check.
Check. And did she pay June's rent?
No.
You have check to show me for June?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it.
It was not a deposit. I clearly explained that to her from the beginning.
I don't care what you explained. I want to see the check.
Okay.
I have all three right here, Your Honor.
May I see them, please?
This does state that it was last month. I gave it.
Could I just see what you have? Perfect. Well, April 3rd, you have $500 for rent, okay? Then it went up to $650. Is that because the boyfriend moved in?
That's because I gave her the $150 in cash. I only have the check for the $500 for the last month.
Okay. So you have March 31st, and March 31st was for
April.
April?
Yes.
And then I have April 3rd. Why would you pay her March 31st and then April 3rd?
That was a security deposit.
I'm sorry.
It's because she wanted an additional $650 for her last month's rent in case anything was to come up, and that's that check.
Or for security. Doesn't make any difference. Perfect. And then I have on May 1st, but what I don't have is June. Where is June?
June is right there.
You could either have June or you can have this as security deposit. Which was it? It can't be June.
Security deposit was not $650 in cash. That's $650.
That's fine,
rent.
but so you did not pay June's rent?
I did, and I wrote last month. In the memo, I wrote last month.
Either you paid security or you paid last month's rent.
I paid last month's rent.
Okay, fine. You paid last month's rent when you first moved in. Is that what you're telling me? Is that how you evaluated it? That you paid last month's rent when you first moved in? You paid no security deposit?
I paid last month's rent in the middle, and that was April 3rd, because she wanted to bring that up in the middle.
You can't have it both ways. Either you paid last month's rent or you paid security deposit. Which one was it?
Last month's rent.
Fine. So there's no security deposit. Now, and you moved out in May. So you want your 1 month's rent back, which is $650. Correct. Because you weren't there in June. There are two other things. There's a claim here for filing a false restraining order against you. Is that correct?
Yes.
But you all went to mediation with regard to that. Am I also correct?
Yes.
And you resolved that case with a mediator. Is that also correct?
Yes.
So I'm not entertaining that unless they filed another restraining order against you. Did they?
No.
So that case is resolved. The next part of the case that I'm going to entertain is your property. Now, when you moved in, what property did you... Okay. Where is her bed?
Moved everything out.
She took it with her.
She took it with her. How did she take it with her?
She was moving out for 2 days.
She had 2 days. She took
That's
2
not
days to
correct,
move all
Your
her
Honor.
stuff out.
Okay.
He helped her.
I even helped her.
I have a video of them forcing me out, Your Honor, if I could play it.
Yeah, after her sister barged in her apartment.
Absolutely. I would like to see
And
it.
broke everything and beat him up.
Just a second. Listen to me. I don't see a counterclaim here. I'm going to look at the video. He says he helped her move. Just a second. Tell me on what date this video was taken.
This was May 27th, and this was around 8:30 p.m.
On what date do you claim you helped her move her stuff out? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to him. On what date do you claim you move her things out? What date?
I don't remember exactly.
I want you to remember
dates.
exactly. We're not talking about something that happened 20 years ago. On what date did you help her move her things out?
It was a year ago.
Last year. It was.
Remember the day of the week, Marty. Remember the day of the week.
It was
Remember
a
what
Tuesday.
happened exactly.
It was a Tuesday.
Okay, let's see.
Traumatizing.
Your Honor, I do have a receipt here. The police advised me to purchase a new doorknob with a lock.
Don't tell me what the police advised you. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, shortly after that you moved out. Did you move out that day?
That night, I was physically forced out.
Okay. Did you ever go back to the apartment?
I went back on May 29th with a police escort to retrieve my belongings, and they served me with a temporary restraining order and said the room was empty.
Okay, fine. Very good. Uncross your arms.
I'm not feeling good.
Okay, then you can sit down. On what day were you served a protective order?
It was like the following day after she left.
Do you remember the police coming back to your house with
Yeah,
her on the
she
20?
came- Yeah, she came. Sorry.
Do you remember the police coming back to your house with her?
Yes.
Do you remember the police going through the apartment and her room?
Yeah, they went in.
Easy to verify with the precinct. Was it before the police came or after the police left or while they were there that you helped her move out her bed?
Those 2 days.
So it was between the 27th when that scuffle went on and she left the apartment and the 29th. So it had to be the 28th.
Yes.
It had to be the 28th that you say you were helpful with her and helped her move her property out. I just want to understand that that's what you're telling me. It's a good thing she sat down. She would have been falling down. You see, if she was standing up next to you, then maybe you would have some support. So let me see what you want me to believe. You want me to believe that you had this sort of scuffle with her, that you filed a protective order against her because of this, so that she could not come back to the residence. But the next day, she came back to the residence on the 28th.
No, I'm sorry.
No. Sit. No.
You have
Sit.
not let us talk.
Did you hear what I said? I'm going to give you 1, 2, 3.
No, I'm sorry, but you're not letting us talk. This is not even what happened. You got all the... You have all the dates wrong, everything wrong.
Out. You want to sit down and be quiet?
Okay, believe whatever you want.
Perfect.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So you want me to, being the nice guy that you are, helped her move her furniture out of the room. That's what you want me to believe.
And later today...
What was your rent?
$750.
And how much security deposit did you put down?
$750.
So that's the $750 that's at issue today?
Yes.
Why are you suing him for $1,500?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Lakin Pickram says former roommates Francesca Ortega and boyfriend Martin Torres physically forced her out of their apartment.
Now, your answer, I'm not even dealing with her complaint. Your answer talks about all the dates, those 27th, 28th. So you want me to believe that after this kerfuffle, which occurred on the 27th of May, and the police came back on the 29th, I assume that you have a report that they went with you?
Yes.
May I see it? That in between those 2 days, you, being the nice guy that you are, helped her move her furniture out of the room. That's what you want me to believe?
Yes, I helped her move her stuff. I never threw any of her stuff away.
You may not have. Now, last month's rent, which was June, or security deposit, you do not have a counterclaim, which means that there is no claim made by you that there was any damage caused by her to the house, to the apartment.
Yeah, we do. We got the evidence right here.
Just a second.
We got all the pictures.
Just a second. Hand down. I don't have a counterclaim, sir. I don't care what you have there. There is no counterclaim here for damage.
Well, what is a counterclaim?
We just wanted her out. We didn't want nothing to do with her.
We don't ever see her again.
We just wanted her out,
please.
Sure.
Can I just ask for 5 minutes?
Put her out.
2 minutes.
Put her out.
I just want to say...
Put her out.
Explain her
Put
story
her out.
for 2 minutes because I feel like you're
Out.
manipulating.
Out.
You're manipulating the situation with your questions.
Miss,
Out.
Come this way.
This is ridiculous.
You have no counterclaim for any damage, which you would have had to have served her to say she's not due back the $650, which we're claiming a security deposit because she caused damage to her room that we are going to be responsible for. You did not file that against her. Therefore, she's entitled to her rent/security deposit back because she lived there a certain...
Verbal agreement where she had a cat that she didn't even have a pet deposit for.
Mr. Torres, listen to me carefully, sir. Counterclaim.
We're taking it out of her security
You
deposit.
did not take it out of her security deposit because no court said you could take it out of her security deposit. That's what we're here for. And since you didn't file a counterclaim, she's entitled to her $650 back. Now the only thing that I have to determine is whether I believe she got all of her property back.
Your Honor.
What?
I do have a receipt that shows at 3:22 on May 27th, I purchased a whole new doorknob and lock.
I
So
don't care.
locked my
I
property
told you
in.
before I don't care about the doorknob and lock. All I care about is the furniture. Now, the question is, when you went to mediation on the protective order, did the mediator discuss your furniture?
No, they did not discuss my furniture.
Why?
They said I should proceed with that in small claims court.
With regard to your furniture?
Yes, with my property.
Furniture. All I'm interested in is furniture.
Furniture, yes.
You left Your sister was there. There were certain things that were packed in her car. As far as I'm concerned, that's all I care. Your sister came over that night and packed things in her car, but she didn't pack your bed in your car.
No.
Now, did you get your bed back?
It was my bed. I had this little desk, and also it wasn't furniture. The rest was just clothing and bathroom
Just
belongings.
the bed and the desk?
Yes.
Where'd you get the bed from?
I got the bed from a family friend. She gave me a bed, so I don't have a receipt.
Fine. And the desk?
A family friend, too.
Great. Okay. You owe us $650. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Who leaves and leaves $2,000 worth of things in a room after threatening everybody in the house?
She might be just a little mentally unstable to be renting out rooms to college students.
Just needed her gone and not deal with her anymore.
I'm just getting my own apartment.
She was a nightmare.
No craziness.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the manner of Gamble versus Griffin. Step forward.
Ashley Gamble is suing her former landlord, Michael Griffin, for the return of her security deposit. Michael is countersuing for defamation, slander, and an unpaid water bill.
Ms. Gamble, the defendant was your landlord.
Yes.
And he's no longer your landlord. You moved out and you want your security deposit back.
Yes.
Mr. Griffin has a counterclaim. He says you owe for a substantial water bill.
Yes.
When did you move in and what kind of premises?
June 12, 2015, into a home, 2-bedroom.
What was your rent?
$750.
And how much? $750 that's at issue today?
Yes.
Why are you suing him for $1,500?
In the state of Pennsylvania, if he doesn't give me my security deposit back within 30 days, it doubles.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Not responsible for water.
We had a verbal agreement.
You don't have a verbal agreement when you have a written lease. The four corners of the agreement form the entire agreement unless it is modified in writing and signed by both parties.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Ashley Gamble is suing her former landlord, Michael Griffin, for the return of her security deposit. Michael is countersuing for defamation, slander, and an unpaid water bill.
Now, you moved out on the 11th?
No, January 5th, 2016.
Was it a 6-month lease?
Yes.
Do you have a lease?
Yes.
I see it.
We actually agreed that I will move out on the 5th of January.
Well, actually, it begins June 12th, 2015, and ends June 11th, 2016. So tell me why you moved out January.
I was having difficulty. I lost my job. I was pregnant. So we agreed that I would move out January 5th.
Do you have that someplace in writing?
Yes.
When did you advise Mr. Griffin that you wanted to move out earlier?
December 15th of 2015.
Did you pay rent in December?
Yes.
Did you pay him his judgment?
Yes, I
have. Is
have.
that correct?
It is.
Well, then you want to tell me why she doesn't have her $750 back.
Yes. I filed for eviction. We didn't agree on a 6-month lease at all. And upon me filing for eviction, waiting for her to receive the funds to pay me the settlement, a water bill came.
She's not responsible for water in your lease.
No. She was responsible for the water.
No, she's not responsible for water in your lease. Show me where. It says she's responsible for the following utilities: electricity and gas.
There was no gas in the house. It's just all electric.
Mr. Griffin, I assume that Ms. Gamble did not pay to have this residential agreement letter prepared, that your company prepared the lease.
Well, we had a verbal agreement that they would pay.
You don't have a verbal agreement when you have a written lease. When you have a written lease, the four corners of the agreement form the entire agreement unless it is modified in writing and signed by both parties.
Judge Judy continues.
Justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, your lease provides that she is responsible for gas and electric. If there was no gas, then she's not responsible for gas. But she's not responsible for water.
Okay.
So now that you understand that, because all you had to do was look at the lease.
Right.
And it says gas and electric. Your counterclaim is for water.
My counterclaim, when she rented the house, the three things that she asked me, her and her boyfriend at the time, asked me what would they be paying, was water.
Listen to me.
I'm listening.
Four corners of the agreement that you prepared. Utilities, she's responsible for a gas and electric. That's what it says.
Okay.
So you have to give her security deposit back. That's what the judgment says. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $750, counterclaims dismissed. We're done.
So the defamation of character is dismissed?
Yes.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Former brothers-in-law tangle over repossession.
You agreed to take over payments on his truck. The last payment was made in May. He lived up to the terms of the deal.
Did he have it out for their whole family?
That was not the last payment, and he knew that. There was an additional $347.69.
He made, and you hustled him.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Justin Michelinas and his roommate Jennifer Clifton are suing Justin's ex-brother-in-law, Robert Harper, for the return of money paid for a truck, repair costs, and emotional distress.
Order. All rise. Yeah, it's case number 177 on the calendar in the matter of Michelinas, Clifton versus Harper.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Have a seat, please.
Miss Clifton.
Yes.
How are you related to this case?
I'm his roommate. I was using his truck while we had it and it broke down, and I put the money in to repair it.
Sit down.
Okay.
This whole case is about you.
Okay.
The defendant was your brother-in-law.
Correct.
And you agreed to take over payments on his truck.
Right.
When was that, Mr. Harper?
I don't have the exact date, Your Honor.
Give me a month and year.
June or July of 2014.
And how many years left did you have to go on the loan?
Roughly 2.5 years, as far as I know.
Is that right?
No.
Him for the truck.
I paid it to the truck, or to the
Loan
truck
company.
Yeah.
And your first payment was when? June of 2014?
I did it on June, the beginning of June, and that's when I first paid out.
Okay.
The first
June
date.
of 2014. And when did you make your last payment?
I paid it off at the end of like May 1st, May 2nd, somewhere around
Of this year?
Yes.
When had you bought the truck, Mr. Harper? What year? What year?
I believe it was 2013.
What month in 2013, Mr. Harper?
I think February, but I can't be certain.
So you had the car for maybe 14 months.
Correct. My ex-wife drove the car.
You had the car for 14 months.
Correct.
And when he took over the payments, the car was in whose name? Your name and your ex-wife's name?
My name only.
I'd like to see that title.
Yes. Is evidence?
Title, please.
Thank you.
And can you show me proof, sir, that the last payment was made in May, that the car was paid off?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but that was not the last payment, and he knew that.
That the car was paid off?
Correct.
In May? It was not. Did you make further payments on the car?
I paid the car off myself, and I have evidence to show that.
How much did you spend to pay
There
the
was an
car?
additional-
Just a second. When did you pay that, sir?
That was paid July
Of what?
1st of 2016.
Am I correct, Mr. Harper, that the monthly payments on the car were $347? How much were the monthly payments on the car, sir?
$277.32.
$277.
32.
Who did you buy the car from?
It was, I believe, Unity Acceptance was the lien holder, and I bought it from a used car lot.
Great. Okay. Mr. Harper, is what you're telling me, sir, that for some reason, despite the fact that the plaintiff put in over $6,000 in this car during the time he drove it,
Correct.
that you believe that you were entitled to repossess the car, which you did, so you now have possession of the car?
Absolutely.
Don't give me an absolutely.
Okay.
I'm not interested in your absolutely, actually.
Okay.
That your payment of $347 entitles you to the possession of the car? Is that what you're telling me? Because for some reason, either because of a mistake or whatever, there was some $347 because he's got all the payments, I assume, to show me that he made from June of 2014 until May of 2006. So it was what
Your Honor, also, it was repossessed, which I covered that money.
Just a second. It was repossessed when?
Yep. It was repossessed in November of 2014.
Just a second.
Yes.
In November of 2014.
Correct.
Listen to me, Mr. Michelinas. The car was repossessed 3 months after you took possession of it. So now what I want to see, sir, are your payments from the time you took it over. Okay, so go back into your payments. I want to see those. Because if, Mr. Harper, what you're suggesting is that he didn't make the payments and therefore it was repossessed, because you mentioned that in here, or you didn't make the payment and it was repossessed because you didn't make the payment, but the plaintiff did make the payment, that's a big difference. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You understand. So is it that there was money owed on the truck before he took possession of it? Or was there money owed on the truck after he took possession of it and he was delinquent in his payment?
There were already late payments made.
Ah, there you go.
There were already late payments made.
Just a second. When you had the truck.
That's correct.
All right.
So
there we go. Now, the $347.
Yes.
Is from when you owed possession of the truck. That's a very simple thing, sir. That's a very simple thing. Is it when you owed the $347 or when he had possession of the truck?
When he had possession of the vehicle.
So now I want to see your receipts for your payment, because that's a big difference for me, Mr. Harper. That makes a difference as to whether I'm going to rip this up and going to make an order that the title is registered in his name. Do you understand?
Yes.
I want you to clearly understand that, or whether I dismiss his case. Because if he made all the payments when he had possession of the truck, he gets the truck, because that was your deal. Do you understand that? I don't care whether you like your ex-wife or don't like your ex-wife, but he made almost $7,000 worth of payments on this truck, and you hustled him. And I don't permit that. Do we understand each other?
Yes, we do.
Great.
Those are all money order and priority mail receipts from the post office.
Now, I have all of these things. He got money orders every single time we went. 277, 32, 277. Now, I want you to show me, Mr. Harper, why you paid $347. Show me.
Here's the evidence, right here. He was aware that not all the payments were made.
Explain that to me. He was aware that all payments weren't made by whom? He made his payments. He was aware that all payments weren't made by whom?
When he took possession of the vehicle.
Okay, now I understand.
I gave him the receipt book that I had.
I want you to listen to me very carefully.
Okay.
Because this guy's a hustler. I want you to hold on to this thing while he signs the car over. If he doesn't sign it over, I'm taking it back.
Okay.
And then I'm going to issue an order, because they both agreed to that. And the order is going to return the car to him, along with reissuing him a title. And, sir, I want you to understand this also. Where do you come from?
I come from here in California.
You come from here from California. Yeah. And you haven't received any fees yet? Any money for a period?
No.
You won't. Do you understand? And you're going to lose the car.
Okay.
And you're going to lose the car. Because what you did was hustle him, and it wasn't right. And it wasn't right. I don't care whether you were mad at her, whether you were not mad at her, whether it was acrimonious. You made a deal with him. He lived up to the terms of the deal. You saw a quick way to give it to him.
I saw a quick way to help him.
They repossessed the car because you didn't make the payments. That's why you paid for half of it.
No, they repossessed the car because he was late with his payment.
Bird, did you understand? Did you understand what I said? Show him where he signs.
Just help me out here. Isn't that where he's supposed to sign as the registered owner, and he's transferring it? Signed it twice. That's his signature both times. Looks like it's already ready for him.
He signed it already.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I will issue an order that I have determined that the car rightfully belongs to you. You now have the title. Then send a marshal to go and get the car. If it's turned over in good condition, great. That's the way it should be turned over. If it's not, there are consequences to that.
And later today,
I loaned Mr. Jefferson $1,600 with a $400 interest.
There's no $400 interest.
Well, he said it.
I am here to tell you there's no $400 interest on a $1,600 loan.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Justin Michelinas says his ex-brother-in-law, Robert Harper, scammed him on the sale of a truck.
Okay. There's a lien holder. This car has already been signed over.
To who?
by him July 31st, 2016. That's your handwriting, Robert Harper.
That's correct, but that was the lien holder signing it over to me.
I certify under penalties of perjury. That's you. You signed it. You released interest, and all you have to get, sir, listen to me carefully, all you have to get is a letter from Unit Acceptance that this car has been paid off. Do you understand?
I do.
Then go get it. This is yours. Give it to him.
The money orders that I mailed to them had Robert's name on them.
Just listen to me.
Okay.
I don't care.
Okay.
I will issue an order that I have determined that the car rightfully belongs to you. You now have the title.
Okay.
He signed over the title. I don't have to get him to sign over a thing. Do you understand?
Absolutely. Thank you.
And we'll get you a copy of the order for the lien holder to indicate that you need a letter from them that there is no longer a lien.
Okay.
Right? Then send a marshal to go and get the car. And any and all fees or anything else are going to be withheld until that car is turned over to you. Do you understand? If it's turned over in good condition, great. That's the way it should be turned over. If it's not, there are consequences to that.
Okay.
Mr. Harper understands the consequences to that.
Okay.
We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think I got swindled.
I feel very happy that she decided to make the correct decision.
I got swindled. The guy didn't make all the payments.
He's been intimidating my whole life.
Probably needs the money.
Rob was trying to get back at me because they left him.
Absolutely never again.
Stay away from brother-in-laws.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of
Serena Shepard is suing her ex-boyfriend, Brian Jefferson, for an unpaid loan.
Miss Shepard, how long were you living with Mr. Jefferson?
For 7 months.
Were you working?
Yes, I was.
Were you living in his apartment or your apartment?
I was living in his apartment at that time.
And what kind of work was he doing?
He's a disabled vet. He doesn't work.
Do you get a pension, Social Security,
Yes, ma'am, I
disability?
do. And she was not working at the time that was a false statement she made.
Okay. Well, let's find out, but don't interrupt. Who were you working for?
I was working with Jack in the Box.
Located where?
And then I lost my job. In Warrenton, Missouri, where I live at.
Okay. You lived with him for 7 months. And how many of those 7 months were you working at Jack in the Box?
I don't know exactly how many months that I worked there, but I did work there for some time.
Okay. Then I believe you.
Yes.
Good. Okay. It is your claim that you came into some money.
Yes, I
into a
did.
settlement while you were living with Mr. Jefferson. And what did you come into the money for?
I got a check for $20,000 for 12 years back child support on May 10th, 2016.
Back child support for whom?
My daughter.
How old is she?
She's 12.
Where was she living?
She was living with my mom.
How long had she been living with your mother?
She had been living with my mom here May the 1st, 2015.
So she had been living with your mother for 12 years?
No, on and off with my mom and me.
Well, how long were you in prison?
For 27 and a half months.
Okay, and this child support of $20,000, who was it from?
It was from the dad, Richard. She met him February of this year for the first time, and he took us out, and he went to the bank, and he drew out some money, and I saw that he had almost $200,000, so I got upset because he owed like $22,000 back child support, and so I called child support and told them, and they put a lien on his account, and 60 days later, actually 70 days later, they gave me the $20,000.
And what did you do with the money?
I got us a car. I got us an apartment.
Just a second, got who a car?
I got me and my daughter a car.
Your daughter's 12?
Yes, for us to have transportation. It was for me and her, an apartment, so I can move her out of my mom's house and to live with me, and that's what she is now.
How much did you spend on the car?
I spent $2,700 for the car. I bought furniture. I bought us brand new beds. I bought us TVs. I bought everything I needed because I didn't have anything.
How much money of that $20,000 did you put away for your daughter's future?
I did not, and I made a mistake on that.
You sure did.
I did.
Because all that money was hers.
Yes, it was.
Not yours.
I gave my mother $1,000, and I have other kids too. I gave them money too. And then I gave Mr. Jefferson $1,600. I loaned Mr. Jefferson $1,600 with a $400 interest.
There's no $400 interest.
Well, he said it.
I am here to tell you there's no $400 interest on a $1,600 loan.
Okay.
Even if it was a loan.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you don't put that $1,600 in a bank account for your daughter, because that's what the money was for, child support, not a new car for you, not new furniture, child support.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Serena Shepard says ex-boyfriend Brian Jefferson owes for a loan.
Okay, what did you use the $1,600 for, sir? And what was the purpose of the $1,600?
I had bills stacked up because I'd been taking care of her for nearly a year.
Just a second. She was living with you for 7 months.
Yes.
How long have you been living in that apartment?
I actually moved from where I was living into this apartment in attempts to accommodate Mrs. Shepard. Because I moved to Missouri from California. I was raising an autistic son, and there was...
I asked you a simple question.
I apologize, Your Honor.
She lived with you for 7 months.
Yes.
Did you move into that apartment together?
She moved with me. It wasn't together. She moved with me, yes.
Can I say something? He lived with his mom. He lived in the basement. He hated living with his mom.
I don't care whether he hated her or not. All I'm asking you is...
He didn't accommodate me.
You moved into an apartment together, is my question.
I lived with my mom at that time.
And
I was over his house a lot.
You're not following me because you don't know where I'm going. You're trying, you know, I see where your head is at from the answers to your previous questions. All I asked you was, did you move into this apartment at the same time together? I don't care if you were living at your mother and he was living in the basement of his mother. Did you find an apartment and move into it together?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yes. And in whose name is the lease?
Mine, Your Honor.
In the 7 months that you lived with Mr. Jefferson, did you pay any rent?
I paid for the Wi-Fi, the cable, and I bought the food for the 7 months because I was getting $350 in food stamps every month.
No, just a second. So you provided the food stamps?
Yes.
She provided the food stamps, which actually we provide, and the water. Tell me is how much was the rent?
$600 when I moved into the apartment.
And you lived in this apartment together for how many months? How many months did you live in this?
4 or 5.
How many months did you live in this apartment?
I don't know. Is it about 4 or 5 months, like you said.
Great, 4 or 5. And how much were the Wi-Fi bills?
They varied. I got some of the payment on this statement from my card.
What I would like you to tell me, sir, is what discussion was there when she received this $20,000 and she was feeling very flush, none of which went into her daughter's college bank account? What was the discussion about the $1,600?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
What was the discussion about the $1,600?
I need to pay some bills.
No.
Can I get some money? Yeah.
Okay. Is that what you said?
Yes, ma'am.
I need to pay some bills. Can I get some money?
She said, how much? I said, about $1,500. It turned out to be $1,600 after I added it all up. And that's what it was. And she gave it to me.
What bills?
Truck payment. I had fallen behind on truck payment. And electric bill. It's combined, gas and electric out there. And a few other miscellaneous things that I wanted to get my son some clothes and a few things like that. Bought a new coffee maker.
I'm awarding her $1,600. And of the $1,600, Ms. Shepard, I'm going to make a very, very solid statement to you.
Your Honor.
If you don't put that $1,600 in a bank account for your daughter, because that's what the money was for, child support, not a new car for you, not new furniture, not a TV. That's what it was for, child support. Child support. So if you bought yourself a lot of new toys, what you should do with this $1,600 is put it in a bank account, and it should be in trust for your daughter.
Yes,
We're done.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
If somebody gives you something and then wants it back, you're not supposed to be able to get it back.
I am happy. I got my money.
If I give you a sandwich and you eat it, then I want it back. Give it here.
I ain't worried about no sandwich. I don't need no sandwich from him.
Because she spent all the rest of her sandwiches.
I can make my own sandwiches. 1,600 of them.
Relationship. That was over a long time ago.
My daughter, I'm going to take Judge Judy's advice and put that up for her because she deserves it.
Something happened in June.
He told me I had 24 hours to get out of the house.
Did his tenant corrupt his daughter?
Jackie solicited my child to adults for
for sex. She asked her for drugs.
But why did this teen keep it a secret for so long?
She asked us if we wanted some alcohol.
She offered you drugs before?
Yes. She pulled out a bag of ecstasy out of her bra.
She offered you drugs, and you didn't tell your father about it.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
19-year-old Jacqueline Adams is suing her former landlord, Richard Nordquist, for the return of rent and security deposit, stolen money, and an unlawful eviction.
Order. All rise. This is case number 153 on the calendar in the matter of Adams versus Nordquist.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Miss Adams, you rented a room from Mr. Nordquist in his home.
Yes.
When did you rent the room?
March.
March what?
8th, I believe.
When did you move in?
March 10th.
And what was your rent?
$550.
And how much money did you give him?
I gave him a deposit.
So far, is that correct?
Correct.
Was the $550 for March?
Yes.
Did you live there in April?
Yes.
And did you pay him his rent?
Yes.
$550.
Yes.
So far, correct?
Correct.
And in May?
Yes.
Paid him his rent?
Yes.
Something happened in June.
Mm-hmm.
Want to tell me what happened?
I was going to move out because he was selling the house to a family or whatever. So I was going to move out.
When were you selling the house?
I decided I wanted to try to sell my house early June.
And when did you tell Miss Adams?
I told her that about the time she put her notice in that I was thinking about selling my home.
Okay, go ahead.
So I decided, because I was going to live there through summer, but then I said no because he was going to raise it to $700. And I'm a college student, so I can't really afford that. And then that's when I told him. And then we agreed that I could move out the next time that I paid my rent, which would be July 10th. But before I went to the Bahamas in June, we decided that I'd just move out July 1st because I was okay with that. And I was already looking on Craigslist for another home. I get back from the Bahamas.
On what date?
The 12th or 13th. I got back the 12th, the night of the 12th, but it was the 13th.
But you had paid June's rent?
No, not yet.
Okay, you got back on June 13th.
Yes, and then that day I went and cashed my check and paid rent, and it's $367 instead of $550.
Why?
Because I was moving out July 1st, not...
And you had moved in on March 10th?
Yes.
Okay, so you prorated it?
Yes.
And he agreed with that?
Yeah.
And he accepted the rent?
Yes.
Accepted the money that you gave him?
Yes.
Did you accept the money that she gave you in June?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 2 days later, after that, he asked if I was going to be home, and I was like, probably not, because I was planning on staying at my friend Bree's house. But then I was like, no, I'm just going to go home, because something told me, like, I needed to go home. And then after that, he woke me up the next day, and he told me I had 24 hours to get out of the house.
On what date?
The 17th.
Did you move out?
I grabbed a bag full of clothes, and I told him, okay. He said I could finish packing my room, and that's what I did.
Okay. So now what you're suing him for is the return of your $400, your security deposit, the rent that you paid him for the latter part of June, and for unlawful eviction.
Yes.
Because he evicted you during a time you had already paid rent, and you were scheduled to move out in July.
Yes.
Okay. Ball's in your court. I actually believe her when she said that you told her she had to move out.
That's not what occurred.
Because I'm looking at your answer and your counterclaim. So what happened on June 15th?
June 15th? Well, I would like to go prior to June, led to her moving out early.
Go ahead.
Okay. I was in Santa Cruz with my girlfriend and my other daughter, and Paige asked if she can go to my house because she was visiting her parent, her mom.
Who was this?
Paige Nordquist. And
How old
Haley.
are you?
15.
And
Okay.
she said, can I go to the house to swim? Jackie will be there. I go, only if mom's okay with it and if Jackie's there, because she seemed responsible. And so I said, it's okay. That night, June 3rd, Jackie solicited my child to adults for sex. She asked her for drugs, Norco.
Well, you weren't there, so you don't know that at all. So that's...
No, but they were there.
They can tell me
Okay.
what they want to tell me, but you can't tell me.
All right.
Who's going to speak? Okay. Your first name is?
Paige.
Paige, you went to your father's house on what day?
June 3rd.
Who did you go there with?
Haley Anderson. My mom dropped me off.
Anybody else show up at the house?
No.
Just the two of you?
Yeah.
And what about the plaintiff? Was she there?
Yes.
Anybody else other than the plaintiff?
No.
Okay, so it's the two of you and the plaintiff. You're a college student?
Yes.
How old are you?
19.
Okay, so she's there, you're there, and?
She came home under
Look
the
here.
influence. Sorry. She came home under the influence.
Of what?
Drunk. She asked us.
How did you know that?
She has offered me drugs before.
No. So she offered you drugs before?
Yes.
Is that what you're telling me? When did she offer you drugs before?
I don't remember what day it was, but she pulled out a bag of ecstasy out of her bra.
So this was before June 3rd?
Yes, but
Before
I never...
Just before June 3rd, before you asked your father if you could go to the house with a friend, and before your father said to you, yes, you can go there if Jackie is there, because she seemed responsible. So that was before that time that she offered you drugs, and you didn't tell your father about it.
Because I was scared of her.
Whatever your reason, you didn't tell your father about it, so that you knew that Jackie was going to be there.
Yes.
And that your father felt that she was the responsible one.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So now you're there on June 3rd, and?
She came home and asked us if we wanted some alcohol. She said she was getting a bottle that night. We were all at the kitchen table.
Okay, and what, just a second, and what did you say?
I said no.
You said no, and what did your friend say?
No.
No, so why didn't you call your mother and have her come pick you up? I'm just curious.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I just didn't think to do that, really.
Why not? You tell me that somebody has offered you illegal drugs before. Despite that fact, and despite that you didn't want to tell that to your father, you initiated a call to go to the house knowing that Jackie would be there with your friend. Right? And before you went to the house with your friend, did you tell your friend about the prior encounter with Jackie?
Yes.
And she went too. And I assume she didn't tell her mother. You live with your mother?
Yeah.
Yes, is the answer.
Yes, and I did tell my mom.
And your mother let you go anyway?
Why was that her?
You mean you... Stand up. Is what you're telling me you told your mother that your friend told you that they were going to an unsupervised house with someone who had offered her drugs before, and your mother said, fine, have a nice swim? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I was at her house. I didn't let my mom know that we were going. We thought we were just going to go over there and go swim for the day, and we didn't. And we just ended up staying the night.
Sit. Sit. Okay. On what date did your daughter allegedly tell you about these events?
She told me, because she was with her mom for another week, I would say approximately June 15th, 16th. And then after...
No. More than a week.
Well, she was with her mom, because I was in the, Santa Cruz until the 5th. And
right, then you come home on the 5th.
Right.
And what you're telling me is you didn't speak to your daughter?
She was with her mom on vacation at her mom's house for a week, because her mom's allowed 2 weeks of summer.
Just a second. I just asked you a question. You and her mother live in relatively the same area?
Yeah.
Yes. Are you telling me you came home from Santa Cruz and didn't speak to your daughter for 10 days?
No, we spoke. She just said she had something to talk to me, and I said, okay, do you want to do it in person or on the phone?
Oh, get over it.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Your counterclaim says there was a lot of emotional distress based on the fact that your 15-year-old daughter and a 16-year-old friend were offered drugs and alcohol by some old person.
Older.
Her friend is older than she is. Would you call her an older person if she offered her alcohol?
And later today...
So she kept it in regular service?
Yes, Your Honor.
And she gave you all these things?
Yes, but maybe she forgot to take it away when she turned over the documents.
Nah. Why would she do that? If she was trying to scam you, sir, she wouldn't forget.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jacqueline Adams says former land rent and security deposit, stolen money, and an unlawful eviction. Richard is countersuing for emotional distress.
You owe her security deposit back, which is $400. You owe her rent back, which is another $400. Where did you go when you left?
I went and I stayed at my friend's house.
And where are you staying now?
I'm not really. I'm, like, homeless. Like, I can't live with my father because I'm a foster youth, so I get AB 12. So I'm, like, legit homeless. So throughout the night, I'm up walking around. Throughout daytime, I'm finding somewhere to sleep.
Well, how do you support yourself?
I don't, unless every month when I get my AB 12, that's when I pay all my bills.
What's AB 12?
I'm a foster youth. I aged out of foster care. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm awarding you your $400 security deposit back, $400, which is a round number, for the rent that you took from her for the month of June, and another $400 for illegal eviction. That's $1,200. You have a counterclaim, which is nonsense. Your counterclaim says that there was a lot of emotional distress based on the fact that your 15-year-old daughter and her 16-year-old friend were offered drugs and alcohol by some old person.
Older.
Well, her friend is older than she is. Would you call her an older person if she
No.
offered her alcohol?
She's an adult and they're minors.
Yeah, okay. Counterclaim's dismissed. We're done. You believe her? Perfect.
Okay.
Why is that excused, Jimmy?
I was telling the truth.
She was going to move, and so there was no eviction.
I don't drink, so or do drugs. So it's just like, okay, yeah, definitely, that's me.
It's a joke.
He's the joke.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Concepcion versus McMurdoch-Dixon. Step forward.
Joselito Concepcion is suing Carmen McMurdoch and her daughter Dana Dixon for defrauding him when they traded cars.
Mr. Concepcion, you traded a car with the defendants. You traded an Acura for their SUV.
Yes, Your Honor.
Before you made that trade, you didn't know each other. You had seen their SUV parked with a sign for sale. You wanted a different car. They were about the same price, so you bartered at $4,500. And that was on what date, sir?
March 1st this year.
And when you traded the cars, Miss McMurdoch gave you all the paperwork for the car, the history of the mechanical history, when it was serviced, etc., was with the car. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you purchased the car, you looked at the odometer, and according to your complaint, the odometer showed about 85,000 miles.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then you saw a piece of paper that came with all the paperwork that Miss McMurdoch gave you. The car had 94,000 miles.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you want your money back or your car back because you say that they defrauded you.
Yeah, they scammed me.
Just
both of them.
No, they didn't. First of all, I would like to see the paperwork that you're referring to, that they gave you.
Yes.
You didn't find this on your own.
Yes.
They gave it to you.
Yes.
Good.
That's the one.
Yes.
Bird, I'm probably looking right at it, where it says what the mileage is on the car.
The yellow highlight.
Oh, right there, 94,020.
Okay, so this is license and mileage. It says 94020, and that was last July.
Yes, Your
Right,
Honor.
and you had taken the car in for servicing.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, when did you purchase the car?
September 2012.
And you maintained it from 2012 until you sold it 4 years later. Now I'd like to see all the paperwork you had on the car.
These are contract. This is the...
Fine. I see everything that you're telling me. So this is Sears, and when she got the car, it said 90,000 miles.
Yes, Your Honor.
So she kept it in regular service.
Yes, Your Honor.
And she gave you all these things.
Yes, maybe she forgot to take it away when she turned over the documents.
No. Why would she do that? If she was trying to scam you, sir, she wouldn't forget. If she was trying to scam you, she would take away any evidence.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Looked like you altered the odometer on your SUV you traded to me. She said, no.
She's denying that she tampered with the odometer.
Or somebody could have done it for her.
Mr. Concepcion, maybe you tampered with the odometer.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Joselito Concepcion says Carmen McMurdoch and daughter Dana Dixon rolled back the odometer on a car they traded him.
Okay, you think that these two ladies turned back an odometer and then gave you paperwork for every 6 months and year of tire rotation and everything else, which says what the exact mileage is?
The reason I bought the car was the odometer when it was only 84,000. For the age of the car, 1986.
Sir, than it was to 84,000 miles. And you have something that she gave you that says there were 94,000 miles, so it's an additional 10,000 miles to what you thought you were buying, right? So the question is, she bought the car with a certain number of miles on the car. Who turned back an odometer?
There was no odometer turning back. Maybe because it's an old car, it's like almost 30 years old. So the little glass that covers the mileage thing is kind of like, I would say, a little foggy. So maybe the mechanic read it wrong, or
no, it says 85,413 miles. So you put on, Mr. Concepcion, according to you, 1,000 miles on the car from the day you bought it.
Yes.
So now I'd like you to tell me when you looked at the paperwork.
After 3 weeks of when I bought the car.
Just a sec. So 3 weeks after you bought the car.
I was only able to review the document she turned me over.
So once you saw that there was a discrepancy in the miles, why didn't you stop driving it?
I stopped driving it.
No, you didn't. You put on 1,000 miles on the car.
When I found
according to the odometer, the picture that you just gave me, and the bill of sale that you had, 1,000 miles on the car. And I'm asking you, if you saw these things within a few weeks and you looked through the paperwork, why did you continue to drive the car?
After 3 weeks, I drove it to Alpine. I drove it to a Sequan just to test drive it. After maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then when I found out what she did on the car, because I was trying to do the upgrades on the car, then when I look at the records, wait, why he said like 94,000 here?
Just a second. I got that. I asked you, why did you keep driving the car and put another 1,000 miles on it?
No, after driving for like less than 1,000 miles, I stopped driving it. I I called her, Mrs. Carmen. Looks like you altered the odometer on the SUV you traded to me. She said, no, I got evidence that you told me. It is not only 1 or 2 pieces of receipts that
all that she gave you.
Yeah.
She gave you everything at the time of the sale.
But she's denying that she didn't tamper it. How come?
Just a second. She's denying that she tampered with the odometer.
Or somebody could have done it for her.
Just a second.
Somebody who's knowledgeable on doing that.
Mr. Concepcion, maybe you tampered with the odometer.
Judge Judy continues. And a victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Mr. Concepcion, maybe you tampered with the odometer.
That could not be possible. I don't want to be jailed. That's illegal. That's illegal. That's why I'm here.
Just a second. What do you do for a living?
I'm a server.
A server. What do you do?
I'm a waitress as well.
Okay. Either one of you have any mechanical training?
No.
No. This car always went to a shop or a mechanic.
These people did not turn back the odometer. They gave you all the paperwork that they had. If you didn't want the car, you should have looked at the paperwork and brought it back. Instead, you drove it for 1,000 miles, Mr. Concepcion. Let me ask you a question. Is the car running now?
Yeah, it's running. It's parked in our street.
So you're driving it?
No, it's just right on. I don't have I live in an apartment, so I only got allowed to 1 car in our apartment complex. So it's got to be parked outside. But
That's
since
fine.
then...
What I'm saying to you is, if it's parked on the street, you have to move it so that you are driving it.
Yeah, drive it from like 5 floors away.
Yeah. Mr. Concepcion, I am unimpressed. You bought a 30-year-old car. Your case is dismissed. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
That's the dress that he made for you.
Yes, Your Honor.
This bride was bursting at the seams.
I kept telling him I need to spend it because I'm a heavy-set person. When I looked at it, I'm like, it don't even have a shape to fit
to it.
Yes.
I just have to see.
And after closer examination, this dressmaker still won't give an inch.
My job first is to just take the measurements.
No.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Waddell Newman is suing dressmaker Corey McKinney for the return of money he paid for a wedding dress and punitive damages.
Order. All rise. Now it's case number 180 on the calendar in the matter of Newman versus McKinney.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Mr. Newman, you want your money back from the defendant who made a wedding dress for your wife. And The crux of your complaint is that not only it wasn't exactly what you wanted or what your wife wanted, but that it was so poorly made that it didn't fit her. It wasn't a custom-made dress.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Not only do you want your money back, you want a whole bunch of other nonsense, which you're not going to get. You want aggravation and stress and the cost of the new dress because you didn't use the dress that the defendant made. So we're going to restrict your claim to what you find the defendant.
Well, Your Honor, myself and my wife, Felicia here, we got married July 30th of this past year, and we had been searching around for wedding dresses and nothing that she had really liked. So friends of ours had instructed us about Mr. McKinney's shop.
Had recommended him.
Had recommended him to us.
People who you believed had used him to make wedding dresses before?
Well, not necessarily wedding dresses. It's just that he was more or less a seamstress and black proprietor in our area of South Bend. So I said, well, let's just give him a try. It can't hurt to try, to go over there and see what we can do for us.
So when you went in to see him, you went in to see him on what date?
Well, we first went in there, it was about the week before Father's Day. So I'd say about the 11th of June that we actually went in there to see him.
Okay, so you were giving him 6 weeks to make a dress?
Yes.
And did you bring him photographs of the dress that you liked?
No, well, she already had an idea of what she wanted.
An idea is very hard to read.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so you either bring him a photograph, you look up on the internet the dress that you like, or you have him make a sketch of the dress.
And that's what he did.
He made a sketch.
He had the internet, and he had different styles that he was showing her at the time.
Okay, so now the next thing I want you to do is to show me the styles that your then fiance selected. Do you have them?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at them. You don't mind him showing them to me, do you?
No.
So you printed those, you showed her those styles, and from these styles, she selected something.
Yes. So,
okay. Would you stand up, please?
So that first picture is
Shh, don't tell me. I assume this is what you made.
Yes, that's what we made.
And these are the photographs that you showed her.
Yes, that's the top
Do you see these photographs?
Yes.
You saw this photograph before?
Yes.
Okay, one that you selected with some alterations.
Yes.
And you saw this photograph. That's the bottom.
Okay, yes.
Right, so you saw that photograph. Now this one is different because this one has a little sleeve. Did you want a little sleeve?
Yes.
Okay, so you wanted a little sleeve. That has no sleeve. You wanted a little sleeve. That sleeve doesn't come down about as much as this does. I don't know whether you discussed that. Okay. And then this is a photograph of the back.
Yes.
That you looked at. And that's the dress that he made for you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And this is the back of the dress that he made for you.
Yes.
Okay. So at some point in July, he calls you and tells you that the dress is ready to come in for July 18th or 19th.
Yes, but he told me to give him 2 weeks, the dress to be ready.
Just a second. You went in July 18th or 19th for a fitting.
Right.
And how far had the dress gotten?
Like that.
Just like this?
Yes.
Okay. And you tried it on?
Yes.
And tell me what happened when you tried it on.
Okay, but when I first looked at it, I didn't like it because I had asked him that I wanted the spandex material. He told me that it was going to be that, but when we looked at it, he said he had to get on whoever made it, because I kept telling him I needed spandex because I'm a heavy-set person, and I know ordering it through the mail, it'll be a problem trying to get it ready for my wedding. So when he told me that, I'm like, okay, I'll come in and look at it. And when I looked at it, I'm like, it don't even have a shape to fit me. So he said the seamstress will help, fix it for me.
Okay, so what you wanted was you wanted a spandex material. Now, had she told you she wanted a spandex material?
Well, she said she wanted a stretchy material.
Stretchy material.
Yes. And I have papers here from the people that made it, and it is describing...
I'd like to see it.
Yes.
So she said she wanted a stretchy material. I gathered that from both your complaint and your answer, that she let you know that the dress had to have a little give to it.
Yes.
Yes.
In that paperwork, it shows you the second one. It's got stretchy material in it.
Now, excuse me, Your Honor.
Just a second. I just have to see. Well, the outside can't be stretchy because the outside is to have a little bit of a stretch to it.
Now, at the same time, Your Honor...
Don't talk to me while I'm moving.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
Not the outside of the dress, probably the inside.
No, I understand. Okay. Mr. McKinney, that's not stretch satin. I'm telling you, the inside of that dress is not the kind of material that has give to it.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't care what this note says from whomever, which is really...
So around the hips?
Isn't it the same satin all over? I went underneath the dress to the lining.
Probably the hip area is where.
What do you mean, probably the hip area?
Underneath would be the stretchy material, not the top part of the bust. You need stretchy to be here, around the waist.
Oh, so what I'm asking you is, did you use one fabric or two different fabrics to make the lining of the dress?
Well, my job first is to just take the measurements.
No. You're going to answer my question. What? I assumed, having had these things done myself, that you use one fabric to make the... Suggesting to me that you use two different fabrics?
Two different fabrics.
Okay, I'm going to go back.
The stretchy needs to be hip area.
So you used a different fabric because clearly, this is not stretch at all. So what you're suggesting is under here, you want to come over here, sir? You could turn this thing around, you can do whatever you want to show me that the bottom part is stretch.
I'm not sure how they get it up here. Oh, here it is. So here,
Hold on. No way. Now, you know that's not stretch material, sir. I know what a spandex material, what a stretch material is. That's not a stretch material. You can go like this, but that's not a material that has give to it. Okay, but you made the dress, and there was a lot of effort that went into making this dress, but it didn't fit you.
Right.
And Mr. McKinney acknowledged that it didn't fit you when you came in, so he said his seamstress would come in to fit it again, which is usually what you do when you make bridal dress gets right. So you went back again.
A week before the wedding.
Okay,
and when I went in there, she looked at it, she said the dress was not measured for me. And I told her, that's what I told him. So when she tried to do it, she tried to take it out. It even got tighter when I tried it back on again.
Just a second. So it didn't fit.
Right.
Well, when you went in there on the 18th or 19th, which seamstress came out and fitted you?
He didn't have one then.
Well, did he pin it? Did somebody pin it?
Yes,
he did.
Yes.
So he did the pinning.
Yes.
Of where you wanted it
to fit across here.
How was it?
It was too tight. I couldn't even sit down in it. That's why they had to take it out on the side.
Okay, so he had to release a little bit.
Yes.
And he put in some things to release it.
No, she just
pins.
took it out. Yes, the pins.
Pins to show the
Yes.
seamstress where it had to be released around your hips. Was that done when you came back a week before? Had it been released around your hips?
3 days before the wedding, yes.
It had been released. So you could sit down?
I couldn't sit down.
Could or could not?
Couldn't.
Could not?
Right, could not.
Even a week before?
Yes.
After she had let it out?
Yes.
Okay. And how was the top?
The top wouldn't even fit me. It's like the bra right here. It's too close in and I'm wide-chested. So they had to try to pull that up and it looked like it didn't get done neither.
Seamstress or Mr. McKinney or both?
Both.
Did you have a conversation with Mr. McKinney?
Yes.
Tell me what you said to him and what did he say to you?
He had asked me, well, the seamstress is here. So when we looked at this, the seamstress looked at it, she told him, she said, there's really nothing I can do with this dress. And I said, that's what I told him.
Just a second. And what did he say?
He walked away. He was helping somebody else in the store and left her with me.
Did you take the dress?
No, I left it.
Is this the seamstress?
No, that's his
Where's
mother.
the seamstress?
Oh, she's not
Who
here.
was this?
This is my mom. She was in the store when she initially came in the store.
I don't need her. I need the seamstress.
No, she was here.
I need the seamstress, not your mom.
Yeah, but when she left with the dress, I don't know what her and the seamstress...
We never took the dress.
Just a second. She didn't take the dress.
But the seamstress took it with her, and she was there when they left. The seamstress took the dress with her, and
She's supposed to have been fixing it for me.
Is that a week before the wedding?
It was...
1 week before the wedding.
Yes.
And what happened?
And she didn't get to it until 3 days before the wedding when she had me to come in.
Come in where?
In her shop.
So you went to a different shop?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Did you make this dress or did somebody else?
Someone else makes it.
Just a second. So she came to your shop, but you subcontracted to somebody else to make the dress?
Yes.
Who took the measurements, the initial measurements?
I take the initial...
Just a second. You took the initial measurements.
Yes.
Now it's all coming together.
In a moment. And later today.
What I did see was when she made the turn, this young lady came over into our lane and hit her wheel well.
Did you see this lady there that day?
I did.
She says that you came over into her lane.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Waddell Newman says dressmaker Corey McKinney owes for a substandard wedding dress and for the stress it caused.
Now, you took the initial measurements, handed it over to somebody else.
Yes.
And you paid $650, right?
$750.
700. I have a paper right here.
I'd like to see it.
I do have two.
I just want to see what you paid.
Oh, she paid $700.
Oh, no, that's
the
not
$751 was after he came in and got some shoes. He came in a week
dress.
before the 30th
Just to say,
and
all
asked
I
me
want
for
to
a
see is the
second
bill.
receipt.
All I want to be is the bill. This says shoes, Felicia, wedding dress, catalog, wedding dress, $750.
But you can see
Just
what the
for the
payments were
plaintiff
made.
in the amount of $750. This is what happened. You took the wrong measurements. You didn't get her what she wanted because there was a spandex material. You subcontracted the dress to somebody else. And then when it didn't work out, you said, pay the lady or not. You didn't do the right thing. They get their money back. We're done. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
They came in a couple weeks before their wedding. I did everything I could.
In all actuality, we never probably should have went to him.
To make her happy.
She was very upset. I mean, it was so emotional those last 2 weeks. I mean, she cried every night.
And I just couldn't make her happy.
Oh, it was bad. It hurted. But I'm so glad that the outcome came good.
Well, just can't please everybody.
Hey, the bride is always right. You know you got to make that woman happy now.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Cedrone versus Mushir. Step forward.
18-year-old Amanda Cedrone and her father, David, are suing motorist Aisha Mushir for an accident on the road.
Mr. Cedrone, I assume that you are here, sir, because you are the registered owner of this car. Is that
Yes.
correct? You were not there at the time of the accident.
At the time of the accident, no.
You can have a seat. Mr. Cedrone, you had borrowed your father's car, or was this your car?
It's my father's car.
That you had borrowed that day?
Yes.
And you were in a car accident with the defendant. You claimed that it was her fault. You want her to pay for the damage to your car, which was not terribly significant. And she says she had minimal damage to her car. The time that you were driving the car, Ms. Mushir, and you had a passenger in your car.
Yes.
And is this your passenger?
Yes.
Had she been a regular passenger of yours? Had you driven her before?
No, I just get calls and
I know, but you had not met her before that,
No.
the day of the accident. On what day was the accident, Ms. Cedrone?
February 2nd, 2016.
Is that your map?
Yes.
Want to go over and show me? What
Yes.
time of the day was it?
It was about 12:15 p.m.
Where were you going?
I was on my way to school.
Okay.
Okay, so I was on my way to school. I go there 3 days a week, every week. I was on Perry Hall Boulevard in the left-hand turn lane. I was at a red light waiting for my green arrow. The arrow turned green, and I had proceeded to make my turn into the left-hand turn lane of Rossville Boulevard. And I saw the defendant was making a right on red, and she was inching out a little bit, so I intentionally stayed in my lane, the lane closest to me, and then she made the right on red, and then she came into my lane and hit me.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Well, I'll take a look at it. Maybe that could change my mind, but I have a witness who says that you came into her lane.
And she also told the officer that she turned on the yellow light. But then her dad got there. He said, no, Amanda, it was green.
Amanda Cedrone says fellow motorist Aisha Mushir owes for a car accident.
Now, what I'm asking you is, she had an arrow permitting her to turn?
Yes, she was in the
turn lane.
In the turn lane, yes.
And you were making a right turn?
Yeah.
And you can make a right turn on red?
Yes.
And you were making a right turn on red?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go over to your board?
Okay.
So what you are saying is, now I'm looking at the photographs, what you're saying is she came into your lane and she says you came into her lane?
Yes, she came.
Okay. But we agree on this. We agree that you were making your right turn on red.
Yes.
And we agree that you had the right to make a left turn.
Yes.
Okay. Now, were you watching what was going on around you, or were you busy doing something else? You were in the back seat?
I was in the back seat.
Tell me your name.
Sharon Ellerby.
Miss Ellerby, do you remember the point where the cars collided?
Yes, I did.
Did you get out of the car?
I did not.
Did you hear any conversation between the plaintiff and the defendant?
No, I did not. What I did see was when she made the turn, I noticed that this young lady came over into our lane.
That the plaintiff,
yes,
when she made the turn wide?
Wide, correct.
Okay. Do we have a police report?
The police couldn't take a report because...
They didn't, so they did not. Did anyone take a photograph of exactly where the cars were at the time of the collision?
I do not have a photograph. I have a video of my perspective of driving it, and then I have pictures of the damages of the car, but I don't have a picture of the road.
Well, that's actually the most important aspect of this case.
I have pictures of the road.
At the time of the accident?
Not at the time of the accident.
Well, I don't want you to go back. I mean, is there a skid mark? Was there any debris?
No,
that would
there
be
was nothing
telling.
like that.
Okay, by the way, did you see this lady there that day?
I did.
Okay, so she was just a passenger in the car. She was the witness. She says that you came over into her lane.
I had the right of way. I had a left arrow, and I made that turn, and I saw her inching out to make the right on red, so I stayed in the lane closest to me, just in case she did come into my lane, and she did. But I have pictures to show the damage.
Well, I'll take a look at them. Maybe that could change my mind, but I have an independent witness who says that you came into her lane.
And she also told the officer that she turned on the yellow light. She told the officer that. But then when her dad got there, he said, no, ma'am, to my...
No, don't tell me what
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Your car was damaged. Question is, was it your fault or not?
No, Your Honor. She came into my lane, and her left front bumper is damaged. My right front fender...
I had a scrape on my bumper, and I actually got out of my car and went back to her because I had pulled my car on the side to get out of traffic.
Just a second. Did you hear any conversation between either the plaintiff and the defendant or police officers when they came?
It was only one officer.
One officer.
No,
you heard no conversation?
I did not.
And as certain as you are that you heard no conversation, is that how certain you are that the plaintiff came into the defendant's lane?
Absolutely.
Okay. The case is dismissed. Good job.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
A former couple fights over puppy custody.
Where did Nugget spend the night?
With me.
I also always slept in his apartment.
I didn't ask where you were sleeping. I asked where the dog was sleeping.
Judge Judy.